And we're on. Cruzin Podcast. We're on. Andy, man, welcome to the show. We're really happy to have you here. We haven't had a guest on in a while. We haven't done a podcast in a while, as we were talking about before, just because, you know, brainstorming stuff, whatever. And the funny thing is we've seen the most movies in that time. And I wanted to mention some to you and see what kind of, Ambulance, Michael Bay. We saw Northman. We saw Sonic. Sonic fan? Are you a Sonic fan at all? No? And what else? What was the other one we saw?
I mean, I'm a casual Sonic fan. I have the game on my phone.
Same here.
I have the game on my phone, but like, if you told me, like, if you say the word, like, I know what a Chaos Emerald is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's okay.
Have you done, well, actually, I saw you did a podcast. It was like a radio thing before this, right?
I did,
What was that? What was that like?
That was interesting. It was just sort of me getting drunk with a friend of mine, a pal of mine. Talking about like my life story and mostly about like being like the son of immigrants and stuff like that, which I thought was nice.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And yeah, that was awesome.
That's awesome, dude. Chilling. And you know what we were talking about this at the bar the other day, because I don't know if I can mention this, I'll cut it out, but you work at Unbranded. A little plug.
If you ever wanted to see me ever, go there because I live there.
Unbranded Brewing Company.
Unbranded Brewing in Hialeah. It's there are a lot of people who believe that I am a ghost confined to the walls of Unbranded because no one ever sees me outside of it.
I was gonna mention that when you got here, it felt very strange.
It's like when it's like when you run into your teacher at the grocery store. That's what it is. Last night I went out to a bar and everyone was like, "Oh shit." What?
Like you out, like you not. It's like you not working. You at the bar.
It's weird. Yeah. I'm a different person.
It's great though, man. I gotta say the trivia nights and stuff like that are always awesome, and it's really cool to have you on. We've been trying to make this happen for, I would say, a couple months.
Too long.
Yeah, right. I feel like it's been a while. And you mentioned it to me that like
because I was on a podcast and I got drunk at the podcast. And so I was in the car on the way home, and I was like, I want to keep doing fucking podcasts.
It's cool,
obviously,
right?
What my brain was actually thinking was, you should keep drinking.
Right? We got beers in there, man.
Yeah, but obviously, you know, when you're drinking and you're doing something, you're like, oh, I want to keep doing this.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I was just like, I know a guy with a podcast.
Yeah. Is that like, when you messaged me?
That's exactly what
were you drunk when you messaged me?
Yeah,
that's
dude.
So funny. That's awesome. No, man. And that's one thing doing this podcast, like, regardless of where it goes or anything, it honestly is really fun to do. Like, I love getting people on, and like, it's just fun, man. I don't know how to, it's almost therapeutic in a way, because you like sitting somewhere with someone and talking with no like interruption for a long period of time like that. It's
you sponsored by BetterHelp or something? What the fuck?
Yeah, this is brought to you by. But it's just really cool. It's really cool. And the last time we were talking, it was at Unbranded.
Yes.
And we talked about it very briefly, and we got like distracted about the Batman.
Yeah.
Yes. What did you? Because you told me you watched it. Did you like it? I can't remember too well.
I called it years ago that it was going to be the best Batman movie ever made.
And did it?
And it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of?
You disagree with me?
No.
Because I heard his mouth open.
No. I love this movie. I loved it. I think he has the best Batman voice.
Yes,
yeah.
I actually did. I do
Hands
remember watching you
best.
guys talk about the Batman voice in particular. It wasn't even the voice that got me. It was the fact that, like, what is it? It's
his
just
presence.
His presence felt so real, like
and
comic booky.
And he's Batman for like 90% of the whole movie,
that
which
was
is
nice.
cool.
That's the best. Which is who Batman really is. That's his genuine self.
It's true.
It's great.
Like honestly, from the second from that opening monologue, you know, it's Halloween, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I was already in.
I've been a Robert Pattinson fan for many years.
Yeah, he's been doing some good
I'm
stuff.
talking post-Twilight, obviously.
Yeah,
I hated Twilight because we were children when it came out, and it was lame to like it. I love vampires, and it was sparkled. So, yeah, say what you will about Twilight. As soon as that happened, he made enough money to just sort of only say yes to movies that he really, really wanted to make.
Yes.
He wasn't doing sort of like blockbusters or any sort of high budget movies that like, oh, we need a big name. Let's get the twinkly kid from the wing. He was just you ever see Cosmopolis?
That one I haven't seen.
That's a good one.
Is he's in that one?
Yes. The whole movie is him in a limo.
Really?
Just like kind of going through a whole professional snafu thing going on like on the phone.
Oh, so it's kind of like
The one with Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, he's in the back of a limo.
Yeah, because
he's not driving the car.
Okay, but
he is the rich guy.
one place.
It's a bottle thing, sort of like the whole thing takes place in one spot.
Okay, interesting.
The cars move around. But so I remember like seeing that, and independent of knowing that he was cast as Batman, like this is before he was cast as Batman, I was like, oh, yeah, this guy would be a pretty cool Batman, like a Bruce Wayne.
Interesting.
And then about maybe a year later, I heard that he was cast. Also, you ever see The Rover?
No.
This is a Guy Pearce movie where Robert Pattinson plays like a southern sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? Idiot, but like slow.
Okay. Okay.
Not like Radio, more like, or maybe a little more like Forrest Gump, but not funny.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
Guy Pearce is on a quest for vengeance, and he's dragging along this southern simple man.
Okay.
Played by Robert Pattinson.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Like that one, I've
We've
seen
seen
him.
Good Time.
Yeah, Good Time. I know he did that High Life, which I haven't seen.
That's a Claire Denis movie, and that's a sci-fi movie about semen.
Really?
I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I think in the trailer or something.
Kind of shows it.
It's all about cum, dude. The entire movie. The value.
And obviously like Lighthouse, right? That's like a given.
Another movie about cum.
Very interesting movies, but yeah, like watching those, I was like,
he can act.
He clearly,
You saw The King with Timothée Chalamet?
I see like little previews.
I've seen
of it.
clips.
He's in the movie for maybe 5 minutes.
Really? I saw the other one with Tom Holland, the Netflix one.
Something about the devil.
Yeah,
the devil of all time or something like that.
Devil all the time. Devil all the time. There we go.
He's like
yeah.
is it Robert Pattinson who's like a priest?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like a pastor.
Like a Baptist.
Delusions.
That one.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
He did pretty good in that one.
Yeah, he sells it.
Even though Robert Pattinson is my favorite actor, I should have watched. I think I got turned off by Tom Holland.
But he does well in it, but it's hard to.
The worst
detach.
thing is I love Tom Holland,
mm-hmm.
but it's just like this was like mid. I love Marvel movies, and I was like, I don't want to not see him as Spider-Man.
Right, and it's hard, to not see him that way.
Yeah, you
honestly.
see Uncharted?
I did.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about this. Like, we weren't looking. We were a little skeptical on it because
fucking ruled.
You know, and we the one thing. So this is where we played the games. We loved the games.
I didn't.
And completely understandable. So, and going into it, we were like a little nervous about it. Like, damn, I don't know.
Mark Wahlberg doesn't have a mustache.
And
I don't really
and not
know,
even that,
man.
just Mark Wahlberg as Sully in general.
I don't know Sully.
Right. So
Yeah.
you picture like an older Tom Hanksy type of guy, maybe. Let's say
Tom Hanks is not like you mean like maybe like an old
character wise,
like a grizzly, like a man's man.
Yeah,
Sully.
I wouldn't even
His
say
name
Tom
is
Hanks.
Sully.
You know, the guy from Avatar, the villain, Stephen Lang. Something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, he was in the short film.
Let's get a Tom Selleck.
Okay. Yes.
Reynolds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If we're going that route, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So Mark Wahlberg was like, we weren't too convinced on it. And then Tom Holland, I was more upset about Mark Wahlberg than Tom Holland, to be honest. Like Tom Holland as a younger Nathan Drake, fine. And then we saw the movie and we were like, you know what? Like this was fun. Their chemistry worked. Their chemistry worked. Oh, you're good, dude. You know, their chemistry worked, and the one thing, my biggest like gripe with it was I wish the action was done better.
What?
Yeah,
I thought it was fun.
The sequences were good.
Yeah,
but the way it was done, the way it was shot, bothered me. I feel like it cuts too much, and you can't really comprehend what's going on. Like on that sequence on the boat,
the flying boat.
Yes, when Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland are like back to back, huh? Yeah, go.
The float boat.
Yeah, and they're like back to back, and it's that part when Tom Holland gets like the vest on. That's a big gaming moment. That's in the game, Nathan Drake. So I like how the movie honored the game. You know what I mean?
And as a person who never played the game, I can just enjoy it for what it is.
Exactly, and it suits both demographics, I guess, of fan bases. Because like for the casuals who don't know the game, it works. But then
just
they
call
also,
me a casual.
Who don't know the games, because there's like what you just said, the hardcore
fans.
gamers are like, oh, he doesn't have a mustache. I get that. Yeah, like I I would have liked for him to go full on with the mustache just because that's the character.
He got it at the end.
He got it. I was like, they're gonna put it at the end, aren't they? Because they put it all over the trailers. I don't know if you remember that one scene.
I didn't watch any trailers.
Good
I was
you,
very
man.
uninterested in the movie as a whole.
Really?
I had no desire to see it. I saw promos, like posters, and was like, "There's no way in hell I'm gonna watch it." And then I was in Colombia.
Okay.
And I had nothing to do.
And you went to watch this movie.
And I went to see it. And because we had already gone to the movies and seen everything that was there while we were on the trip. It was The Godfather's 50th anniversary.
You saw that in theaters?
My wife had never seen it. So I was like, perfect. We have like a whole night to kill. Let's go watch The Godfather. She loved it.
It's great. Yeah.
And seeing it on the big screen is a whole different thing.
It's a beautiful.
We saw the Batman. They were showing Licorice Pizza, but I didn't feel like watching that. I was in the mood for something stupid that I wouldn't have to think about.
Right.
Little did I know Licorice Pizza is a stupid movie that you don't have to think about at all.
Really? I haven't seen it.
There's no need to dissect the movie at all.
Mm-hmm.
People put too much thought into it. It's just a fun little thing.
Interesting.
And then Uncharted, I was like, yeah, let me get big set pieces. Let me get big fucking explosions and bullshit.
And you get that. And you know what? I found it like funny. I thought Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland were cool. And like it was good. You know, I don't know if you noticed. Well, you didn't play the games, but the guy that comes out when they get to the beach, that guy that tells them, "Hey, kid," or something. It's like a random guy at the beach.
That's the guy who voiced the character in the
games.
In the game.
Yeah, so you can tell.
I
from
did
his
know
voice.
that because I'm a big fan of the IMDb trivia section.
Okay, but so yeah, that's the voice actor of the games. If you can kind of tell in his voice, he has like that.
Never heard the character's voice.
It's so interesting.
I figured it was a reference to something because like a few nerds in the theater went,
yeah,
so
exactly. That's so interesting. Like the Uncharted movie, we really enjoyed it. Their chemistry was good.
It's hard not to have chemistry with Mark Wahlberg. The guy's really talented.
Yeah, you know, he is.
He's
and
also
Wahlburgers is really good.
He's also like, has a horrible history, and he's like kind of a terrible human being, but he can act his ass off.
Yeah, his whole backstory.
Yeah, have you seen that meme that's like, hey, Mark Wahlberg, do you want to be in Uncharted? No, thank you. In the third act, you get to beat an Asian man close to death. All right, I'll do it.
All right, yeah, I've heard his story altogether, and it's insane. Yeah. It's insane, and it's funny because
He's
just
kind
watching.
of a psychopath.
You think? I don't know.
Have you seen his workout regimen? His schedule?
Oh yeah, he goes to sleep like at 8 o'clock and wakes up like at 3 or
like
4.
At 3 or 4 in the morning, and has like a set schedule and like a time set aside for like prayer, shower, breakfast.
It's like American Psycho.
Yeah. That's what I get from him.
Yeah.
But he can act really well.
That's
it's all a matter of separating the art from the artist in that point.
Yeah, right?
But mentioning his chemistry, like, remember the other guys?
Yes.
That guy has chemistry with Will Ferrell.
It does.
And then Tom Holland as well. And then have you seen the movie Four Brothers?
That one, I've seen pieces.
Yeah, pieces.
Isn't Tyrese Gibson in that one?
He is.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Tyrese Gibson. Andre 3000 from Outkast is also in the movie.
Okay.
And then the guy that was in the Tron sequel.
Oh yeah, I forgot his name.
Garrett Hedlund. I want to say.
I don't.
Where's my phone?
The main actor from Tron.
Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
To think when Tron Legacy came out, that was that the first kind of big push for de-aging?
His name is Garrett Hedlund.
Oh, so you got it right.
I got it right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was when that movie came out. That was one of the first ones that did that de-aging stuff.
Yeah, I remember that with Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
I thought it looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of got it. It makes sense for the movie because it looks artificial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're in an artificial world, right?
You can get away with it for sure.
Yeah. The plot called for some.
I actually liked it. I thought it was fine.
Apparently they are
working
on one with like Jared Leto or something like that.
Oh, come on.
He's like on method.
Jared, yeah,
he's like on method.
Yeah, have you heard about his Morbius?
That they had to put his ass in a wheelchair so he can go take a piss. Yeah, I heard about that.
Isn't that crazy?
That guy's dumb as rocks.
If you tell me like it's like such a good movie that he got an Oscar for it, then it's like fine.
It's
but
Morbius.
For Morbius,
I didn't even see Morbius.
I
think the best thing to do as a people
is just not watch
the culture of people who enjoy comic book movies is to not go see Morbius.
What do you think seeing with Morbius, right? What do you think of? Yeah, what do you think of that? Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna ask.
El Muerto
As a response from Sony, they're like, okay, Morbius didn't do well. These spin-offs, I'm not a big fan of the Venom movies.
Here's the thing. I liked Venom. I thought it was fun. I like drinking every time the closed captions say squelching. It's a lot of squelching.
Yeah.
The second one was fun. It's a 90-minute movie. Who doesn't love a good 90-minute romp? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's over? Oh, I thought we were in the second act. Great. Time to go home. But yeah, Woody Harrelson didn't fit in the second one. Sony's kind of doing a weird thing where they're like, Venom 2 was worth watching simply for the post-credit scene.
Which?
The Spiderman.
When Venom licks the TV.
Oh, yes.
And the horniest scene in the entire movie.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And then people thought he was going to be in No Way Home.
He was in the post-credit
of him going back.
Yes.
Into his universe.
And then it was the line from Venom who says, you don't know my knowledge. It's a hive mind that spans universes. Which means like the symbiote in the Sonyverse remembers Tobey Maguire.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
And it has a connection to that, which is why he was drawn to Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
So it made sense.
He knows the Peter Parker in his universe all the time. That's neat.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was 20 seconds.
It was cool. And I do like the fact that, he left a piece of the symbiote behind. So we'll get another Venom.
An MCU Venom.
An MCU Venom.
Yeah.
Because I honestly couldn't see. I wasn't for the whole Tom Hardy, Tom Holland, thing.
They didn't seem like peers.
It just didn't seem like the right move. I would like to see just a straight on villain of Venom. You know what I mean?
Tom Hardy's kind of got like he's got like the anti-hero thing going on.
Yeah.
Well, hardly. Oh, because he murders people? Whatever.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I try to picture it as like people. You already like him, right? So like to
see like two characters you like fighting.
And it wouldn't, that's not like the true villain of the movie, unless they do like that whole like, classic like Batman v Superman route or something. Like they fight for a little bit and then they
Godzilla versus Kong also. The villain was Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly. That's
the only true one would be Alien versus Predator, but no, Predator ended up being the good guy in that movie. Freddy versus Jason. No, Jason ended up being a good guy. You know what? It doesn't happen.
Yeah, right? So, like, I didn't want to see that. I would like to see just, like, a dark, villainous Venom or something.
But Venom always has the sort of, like, I'll team up with you if I need to thing going on in the comic books.
You see, that's where I don't know much of comics. I just go based off what I see. I didn't know that. So, like, if that's what they do. But even then, let's say, like, honestly, if I'm being honest, you're going to hate me for this. I'm not a big fan of Tom Hardy's Venom, just as a whole.
That's cool, man.
That's cool, man.
I don't know why Tom Hardy, he does like a weird voice as Eddie Brock.
What are you talking about? This voice right here? Yeah, it's weird.
It comes on and off.
It comes and goes.
It's like Aunt Garfield in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
But let's be real here with New York accents. Mine comes and goes as well. Like if I get upset, like it'll pop out a little extra.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Exactly. And then it'll go away. Real people talk like that. Accents come and go. And that's always my justification for like vocal coaches not being around, not being on set.
I love Tom Hardy as an actor, when they said he was going to be Venom, but I feel like Sony should maybe like cut back on these
the
spin-off
villain stories.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep.
Here's the thing, where we were going with El Muerto. We live in Miami.
Starring
that
Bad
movie's
Bunny.
gonna fucking sell out.
Oh yeah, because of Bad Bunny.
Because of Bad Bunny.
Nobody gives a shit what villain he's playing. El Muerto has appeared in 2 comic books.
Yes, that's
in
what I read.
the entire run of the character as a wrestling person.
Just a name.
There was a meme that people were like, "Oh my god, more!" Like after the response on Morbius, Sony's like, "Okay, let's give him El Muerto." Like that's their response. Like now, let's maybe take a step back.
It's not that we're getting El Muerto. It's that we're getting a Bad Bunny movie.
Yeah,
that's what's selling. Nobody cares about El Muerto, and Sony knows that.
What's happening?
It's Sony over there.
What's happening in the studio? Like, what are the meetings like? Like, they're sitting around each other. Or is it kind of like, all right, guys, what do we want? What do the fans want?
Fuck the fans. Have you heard this new Bad Bunny album?
Yeah,
that shit's fire, bro.
Can we get
Put
this
him
guy
in a movie.
Yeah.
What is he like? Bad Bunny's a big fan of like WWE and shit.
He was just in the
make
wrestling.
him a wrestler. Done. It's easy.
Do we have a comic? Oh yeah, look this character.
Look this
Boom.
one. I found it.
And then done.
It's over. And then the idea is to eventually, I guess, pit all these villains against Spider-Man.
They've been trying to do that for so long.
Yeah.
Like, they tried doing it.
Sinister Six with Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man.
Now with Toby, though.
Toby, the idea was to go there later on. But
Yeah,
the
like with
response to
3,
Spider-Man 3 was bad.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 had, what, 3 villains?
Yeah, they pushed Venom. They pushed Venom on there.
The studio pushed Venom.
Yeah, the studio,
movie. And it's like, I'd rather not have Venom at all than have him for 6 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
I remember being excited about Venom and then later on realizing that, like, I don't really like Venom as a character. I think he's kind of boring.
Yeah, that movie, rewatching the Spider-Man 3.
It's really good for the first act.
Yeah.
Right up until Harry's head goes boom.
Oh,
That's the sound effect.
Yeah.
And then the movie just falls off. It could have been an entire emotionally gripping story about Harry and Peter.
Yeah.
Which had been building since part 1.
And I feel like that's what Sam Raimi wanted to do.
But that's just the studio.
I feel like the whole
the
Venom storyline, because that's where I noticed for me when it started like kind of losing itself was the whole Venom, the symbiote, because that's when you get like the Bully Maguire stuff and like
Bully Maguire
and all that. So like if that,
you'll get
even
your
though
rent
looking
when you
back,
fix this damn door.
yeah, looking back, it's pretty iconic. You know what I mean? Looking at the, it's fun to.
It's funny in a way that only Sam Raimi could make something funny.
Yeah,
which is
the
like
whole
Evil
dancing.
Dead 2 had a laughing deer head, dancing demons. Drag Me to Hell. Have you guys seen Drag Me to Hell?
No. A long time.
That is my favorite Sam Raimi movie. I mean, except for Spider-Man 2, which is like the best comic book movie ever, but whatever.
Yeah.
Drag Me to Hell is so good. It has jump scares for the sake of jump scares. It's got Justin Long using a Mac. It's got a demon dancing on a table like this. It's got a kitten. A dead kitten coming out of a goat's mouth.
Who's the lead in that one?
It's a woman whose
it's
name
the
I don't
blonde
know.
woman, right?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
It has she projectile nosebleeds all over a guy in the movie.
Because I remember watching that.
That's Raimi, bro.
What year did that come out?
That was 2000. Nope. 2006.
Oh,
9. God damn it. Thank you.
9.
So I saw it in theaters when I was 14 years old. My dad took me to see it. And my dad was terrified of it. It scared the shit out of him. My dad's a little baby back bitch when it comes to horror movies. Yeah.
Because I remember watching it, but again, it was 2009, so that's why I don't remember it too much. But I remember enjoying it, but I can't remember. I got to rewatch all of his movies, though.
It was an old lady, and she, like, gets stapled in the face. I'll never forget the part of that movie that stayed with me a lot. And, like, one of the things I love about movies, and specifically Sam Raimi, I didn't know that I loved it until later on. And I was like, there's a scene where she's getting strangled, like she's getting choked in her car, and she's reaching for like the stick shift, right, like the gear shift, and the music is playing, and you'd expect like dramatic like string thing. It's just like a funky bass.
That's so interesting.
Like, what is that? That's awesome. Only
it doesn't make sense, but it's like great.
It fits really well. It's camp. It's goof.
Apparently, Doctor Strange, they're saying like his style is in there. They're saying it like his influence is there. Like it's not like his name is put on there, but it's like a Marvel movie. Like no, it's his.
They're doing that now more. I feel in the beginning it wasn't like. I mean, you could with like the big ones. Like Guardians was always a James Gunn movie. You could always tell it was. Winter Soldier look. I wouldn't say Russo's have a look. Because what were they doing? Like episodes of Community before they did that, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing before. They have a style, I guess I would say, like a style.
I really hope that
visually.
That's not their style. That's the Marvel Studio style, which is when all the fucking people come together and they're just like, we can't settle on a style, so we're gonna ditch the idea of style, and it's just kind of it's gonna look dull.
It does look dull. I remember looking at images, like people were kind of going back and looking. Visually, yeah, like their visual like aesthetic is very dull, but I did enjoy like Winter Soldier, Civil War.
Winter Soldier's like the best, but like the dull worked for that because it was supposed to be a grounded political spy thriller.
Yeah,
that was the idea. But like keeping in that look for something like Civil War, which is like ripped out of comic book pages, to continue with the dull look, I don't think made it. First Avenger didn't look dull at all. It was color popped. You know, that was the whole idea of it. Like, it's a period piece and everything's big for no reason. It looks like a fucking what's his name? The guy who did Romeo plus Juliet, Baz Luhrmann movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's got a weird vibe.
Yeah, because that was
that's interesting.
Josh Whedon that did the first Avengers, right?
He didn't do the first Avenger though. Not the first,
Captain. You're talking about Captain America. Oh, Captain America.
Yeah. That was the 1940s.
Joe Johnston. I just saw a video today about MCU. Joe Johnston, I believe his name was.
Yeah, it looked awesome. You know, and then later on, it was like, oh no, the plan is to bring all these movies into the same universe and kind of make them look the same. So how do we do that? We just take away every director's vision and basically just go for uniformity.
And they lost Edgar Wright when he was gonna do Ant-Man.
Yeah, and they went with what's his name? No, not Scott Derrickson. Was Doctor Strange? I don't know.
Something Reed, Pete Reed. Yeah, Peyton Reed.
That's right. And he was signed on to do Fantastic Four, and not anymore actually, as of recently.
Yeah, and I believe John Watts as well, from Spiderman. John Watts.
Is not doing Fantastic Four anymore because he's taking a break from comic book movies.
Apparently, but then they're saying that he's gonna do Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man's like the guy's baby. He probably doesn't even see it as a comic book movie anymore. He's probably like, that's my movie.
And it's working.
It's working.
It's working.
Yeah, because when you do a Marvel movie, you have to like connect it with other stuff.
Doctor Strange had big reshoots because of that. Apparently,
every movie has its reshoots. When people panic about reshoots, I always say, shut up, like don't worry about it. But
it's fair.
Doctor Strange, people are saying that Raimi's vision is in there, and I think that nowadays, that whole thing about like, Marvel movies are looking kind of dull, and there's not really a lot of like director's vision coming out. I think that's not really happening anymore.
Which is good. Like Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi comes out in his movies.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok feels like a Taika Waititi movie.
Yeah.
It's like a Taika Waititi movie with a hella big budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And then, John Watts is coming through Spider-Man. Spider-Man is his own thing.
James Gunn.
Style.
Those Guardians. Shang-Chi. I was going to say.
Shang-Chi. Okay.
It was very stylized. I didn't think there were parts of it that looked dull.
Who
really? I feel like it kind of looked the same.
No, there was parts in it. Like,
remember the scaffolding fight in that movie? That did not look like. It looked like Rush Hour. It looked like an old kung fu movie, like a good kung fu movie.
Oh, the scene with the bus, right? You talking about
the scaffolding, like on the side of the building, with the bamboo.
Oh yes.
Everyone thinks about the bus scene because that was the trailer money shot.
But
the actual scene in the movie with the scaffolding.
Mm-hmm.
You guys seen Rush Hour 2?
Yeah.
When they come up on that building and there's bamboo scaffolding, I was watching it with my wife and I go, oh, they're going to fight on that scaffolding. People are going to fucking fall off it and die today. And it happened. Like, of course you do. If you've seen Rush Hour 2, there's a big bamboo scaffolding fight scene, which is one of the best scenes in the Rush Hour trilogy.
Yeah, those movies are fun too.
And who doesn't love kung fu movies? And it's like people kind of judge Shang-Chi as a Marvel movie. Shang-Chi is my favorite Marvel movie of all time, actually.
Okay.
Because I'm a big kung fu fan. And I love that the movie exists on its own.
Right.
And you don't need to have seen like a single Marvel movie in order to really enjoy that one. Like,
that's true.
Even when Ben Kingsley shows up, he's just kind of a goofy person and he explains this whole thing. And he might as well have been like, "Oh, you don't remember me? I was in Iron Man 3."
Yeah.
Like, he didn't say that.
Yeah,
you know,
basically.
Like, okay, he's been around, I guess.
That was their way to like redeem that whole thing that happened with Iron Man 3.
I liked Iron Man 3 anyway. It was good. That's another director whose vision comes out in a movie. Shane Black, who like is obsessed with Christmas. So Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
Oh yeah.
Because he loves the color. He loves the Christmas colors.
That's interesting.
So that's what he does.
That's interesting. Yeah, like I'm curious to see like what the route with Marvel. Kevin Feige apparently like he just went with a bunch of people like on a retreat.
Meeting?
They went like on a retreat.
You know those guys did hella acid, bro.
And started planning the next like 10 years
cool
of Marvel. That's so insane to sit there and like, okay, like let's plan out the next 10 years of Marvel, knowing like just because as fans, right, like you're waiting and you're trying to see what's next, and these people are sitting there on a drawing board and they're like, all right, this is gonna happen here, this is gonna be huge, and this is. Imagine being in that meeting, you know.
A fly on the wall?
Yeah.
No, I'm good not having done that.
Just living it.
Living it is way better, honestly.
I believe it was yesterday. I think it made 14 years since the first Iron Man movie.
Good God.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm getting old.
Isn't that crazy?
I remember I was excited for the first Iron Man movie. I was really stoked. I was on MySpace posting pictures of
Did
Iron
you
Man.
see, like, did you know about the post-credit scene right off the bat?
No.
No, right?
I think I went to see it in theaters, and then maybe, I don't know, dude. How old was I in 2008? I was 13. I don't remember anything about that.
For some reason, I don't know why, but it's very specific, but I remember going to watch it, and a friend of ours told me and my brother, like, oh, like, stay after the credits.
It must have been something like that.
Something like that. And we stayed, and then it was like, Samuel Jackson being like, I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. And I remember, like, seeing it, but I didn't know enough about any of that, so I was like, huh, like Avengers, or like, I didn't, and little did I know,
it's a whole thing.
it's this whole, and then I saw, Incredible Hulk, and I believe it was like Thor.
I think it was it the post-credit scene for Incredible Hulk where there's it just shows Mjolnir on the ground, like the hammer. I remember that. I remember sitting in the theater watching
That's
that.
Iron Man 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk was like Tony Stark showing up and being like,
Yes.
oh, and then the general's like, what do you mean by we? He's
That's
like,
right.
We're forming up a team or something.
Oh,
Again,
God.
I literally just saw a video today about the MCU, how it all came together and the craziness of it, like when Jon Favreau wanted Robert Downey Jr. to be Iron Man.
And then the studio didn't want him.
Yeah, because
he
was going through his whole
controversial figure at the time.
very controversial period, and Jon Favreau, really fought for him and stuff like that. And I think, was it Feige that wanted him as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like the main studio heads that were like, oh, it was hard to trust him at the time.
That's like the most boring aspect of Marvel, I feel.
The
whole like studio heads talking about actors. I hate that.
Yeah.
Don't you like?
No, yeah.
I can't stand. I feel like the best part of Marvel and is how different every movie could be, and not necessarily thinking about ways that could all connect, but just like knowing that they're all connected, and then seeing all these different, like, directors and different screenwriters and different writers and different everything, just like, oh, it's all connected. It's like actually reading comic books. Like, you read Superman and Batman's not in the book, but you're like, this is Batman's best friend I'm reading about. Like, you just know that he exists within the world.
That is one thing I
But
really love
the payoff
about that.
like you do in movies now. Like, if you don't need the cameo, which is all people are so obsessed with now.
Especially now with the multiverse thing going on. That's all you expect. And with Doctor Strange, I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen it yet, obviously, but
I have everything related to Marvel muted on my Twitter account. Like, everything.
Smart. Because there was like leaks at one point, right?
Yeah.
Right now, my brother. I woke up this morning from a text from my brother. He goes, "Hey, stay off Twitter because I just got it spoiled for me." And I go,
shit.
"I'm way ahead of you. I fucking muted that shit like 2 days ago."
Smart.
I have my ticket for this Friday. I'm gonna go see it in the afternoon.
Yeah. We're going Friday, but like at midnight, like after work. I'm coming home and then.
Yeah, no, I have to do a DJ set that night, so that'll be fun.
Oh, so you're watching in the afternoon?
I'm watching it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then
Nice.
going immediately to Hialeah to do a DJ set.
Nice.
It's no way to live.
There's no way to live. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. But I do agree with you. Everything now is like, there needs to be a cameo. There needs to be something, some sort of reward all the time, know, and people kind of forget just to like watch a movie.
Fan service, but like fan rewarding, which fan rewards, like fan service can be great. Sort of like a little, like we were talking about Uncharted. It's really nice that they put the voice actor there for a little wink.
Yeah, or when he puts on that scene that I was telling you, when he puts on the
vest.
The vest.
And you're a big fan of that, and I don't know what that means.
That's a big moment because that's him becoming Nathan Drake. Because in the games, that's his outfit. That's his like costume.
Okay.
It's the vest. It's like Indiana Jones with the hat.
Han Solo with a vest.
Right. Yeah. And then it's him. So like when he puts it on, it's like, oh, this is Tom Holland becoming Nathan Drake. Like that's the moment.
Okay.
For people who know the games, like it's that prequel leading to that moment. So it's like, okay, that was cool.
But it didn't do anything to harm the story.
No.
So that's fan service that is rewarding.
Yes.
Rather than being like whatever Morbius was, which is just a movie.
It's just a movie.
That's like it's a long trailer for what is coming in the future, which is Muerto. Bad Bunny.
I heard that.
Bad Bunny.
I heard Morbius was very misleading with the Michael Keaton character.
Yeah, he was in the trailer,
and that was,
and he's the post credits thing reveal
That's
is Michael
insane,
Keaton.
Man. Apparently, they had to change some stuff around
Yeah,
because of
something
No
they
Way
cut,
Home.
yeah.
Like I don't know. That movie just seemed like a mess. And you would think.
Nah, I wouldn't
This
think.
is me being kind of like optimistic. When they delayed it again, it was supposed to come out in January. I thought, they delayed it because they want to add footage of something related with Spider-Man because of the success of No Way Home. We talked about this on the podcast. I was like, why else would they delay it? Like, right off the high of No Way Home, and people are going to go right into Morbius because they just finished watching Spider-Man like 6 times. You know what I mean? But they delayed it till like April. So the hype already died down. And then you just mislead people and they go to watch this awful movie. And now you're just, that's the last thing you left them with, not No Way Home now. Now you left them with Morbius. And I thought they knew what they were doing, I guess, with Morbius.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Sony?
Like, I thought, oh shit, it got delayed like 2 years because of the pandemic. So I was like, that's a lot of time.
I think Morbius had the capability of being a great movie. It had the potential.
It's just Sony.
At least a solid movie.
I don't think in this case the movie is bad, and I don't think and the movie is bad, but I don't think that's something to blame Sony for, like, exclusively. There has got to be an issue with production, with
it's all about who you hire. I mean, like for example, like that. What's that? Madam Web.
Yeah.
That one.
Oh,
they hired the people who did
the Power Rangers remake.
That movie was fucking awesome. Yo, hey.
No,
that Power Rangers movie is the tits.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it, but
I think it took a little long for it to get where it wanted to go.
For the Power Rangers to
Great,
show up.
yeah, it was a better emotional payoff once they morphed. It was awesome.
I would have liked to have seen a sequel though. Like, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
You didn't get a sequel because y'all didn't pay for it to see it in theaters.
Did
you?
Yeah.
Okay, you right there in the camera. You didn't go see it in theaters, and it's your fault we didn't get a sequel.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, we will go and pay and watch it. And what was another movie? Like, there was like the Tomb Raider movie.
Oh, that movie was bad though.
You see, like that one, we were kind of like, you know what? I would like to see a sequel.
I played the Tomb Raider games. And I thought, it was pretty, like, close to it. Like, it was, like, fine. I was fine with it.
Yeah.
The Tomb Raider.
Like, and that's the thing.
I remember people complaining that Alicia Vikander's boobs weren't big enough.
Oh, no, come on. That's just being horny.
Yeah.
That's just being horny.
Well, that's what video gamesters do, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought she was great as the Laura
Yeah,
Croft.
yeah, she's good.
Cool.
Like,
I think I fell asleep during that movie, actually.
Yeah?
And I don't fall asleep during movies.
Looking back at it, it is kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
When you look back, I was like, oh, damn. But, like, I feel like there's certain movies, like, you know what? I think just give it a sequel. Like, Uncharted, give it a sequel.
That's definitely getting
I like
one,
it.
I think.
Improve on the action. I think they need to, not the sequences. I thought, like, the setup was great. It was just the action.
The editing.
Editing and, the way that it was shot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Tom Holland is very athletic.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg is an athletic guy. You know?
They can do stunts. They can do it.
You know what I mean? Let the camera sit on him. Like, we've seen, I don't know if you've seen Tom Holland behind the scenes of Spider-Man. Like,
he actually, he could do backflips.
This guy flips and shit. Like, he was doing the actual stunt off the rope on the ship, in the action sequence.
Yeah.
Why not? Why do you need 20 cuts of him swinging? And you know what I mean? Like, just show us. Like, what do you like about kung fu movies? It's the camera.
Yeah, but again, that's the problem. But that's the problem right now with, like, Hollywood, though. Like, Hollywood, like, action is terrible.
Yeah,
like it kind of is. Like,
that's what makes foreign movies so much better.
That's why look at, like, Bruce Lee movies.
Jackie Chan.
You guys seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
But yeah, even
that was
that
cool.
One,
That
like,
action's fantastic.
Yeah,
that was.
And
good.
the action is very good.
But that's another. It's shot in kung fu style.
That's exactly
Yeah.
like the Western style filmmaking. Is what they call
you guys
it.
saw Ambulance?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but that action is incredible from what I hear.
No, I
it's
actually.
Cool. It's fun.
For me, it's in, like, my, like, top Michael Bay movies because I really
it's
like
up there. It's up there.
I really like
Michael Bay's great.
I really like.
I've never met anybody in my life that doesn't love Bad Boys 2.
Yeah,
I
didn't like 3 though. I didn't like 3.
I didn't say 3.
No, but I was gonna say I love all of them. I was like, no, not 3. I forgot 3 existed.
Yeah,
but
3 needed
1
Michael
and 2.
Bay. 3 needed Michael Bay.
Yeah,
They needed that
Michael
Miami.
Bay. People talk shit about Michael Bay because of the Transformers movies, but like the guy's got 2 movies
The first
in the
2 were
Criterion
fine.
collection.
The first 2 were fine. The first 2.
Yeah, 2 story goes
They meld them all
bonkers.
together.
Huh?
I meld them all together. All the Transformers. I don't know which one's which.
The first 3.
I know what they're
like
all called. I know who's in all of them. I know Anthony Hopkins arrives later.
Yeah,
I know there's a robot butler. I know the Knights of the Round Table are there.
Yeah.
I know a robot humps a lady's leg. I've seen them all.
Michael Bay.
Don't know
humor.
what the fuck is going on ever.
But the action's
three,
great.
The first three are fine.
For the first three.
Sure.
Yeah, but four is a 4 or 5.
Second one's got a robot with balls.
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
Michael Bay came out and I remember.
What the
that.
fuck is that?
Yeah, I remember Spielberg told Michael Bay said this, that Spielberg after 3 he told him don't make any more, man, and he was like but he just said he loved making them. Like I get it, like you're
It's
getting
fun.
paid,
Yeah, why not?
you're filming explosions and you.
I think I saw the 6th one in 4D
Oh.
at Union Square in Manhattan. And there's a scene when one of the robots gets punched in the back and something hit me in the chair because it has like the little massage things and I got hit in the back and like the robot gets hit and I went, what the fucking shit. Anyway, that's the only thing I remember. And the robot butler. Yeah, it was good. It was
Those get so crazy after 4, like when Mark Wahlberg starts coming in.
Age of Extinction.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Why do I know that?
they lost me.
Like 4 on.
1 is great. 2, the story gets crazy, but the action is so good.
The action is what makes
And
it
then
better.
3, it was like his own little mini Transformers Black Hawk Down, like the city being, and it's pretty dark. Like they were like just
A lot of oil was
destroying
spilled
humans.
that day. Oh, blood. Okay.
and
The first one was fun. I remember the first one.
First one's
I
great.
kind of
I
missed
love the
that.
first one.
What is it that like the ending of the first one with the Linkin Park?
Linkin Park
Boom,
playing.
you know?
Hell yeah, man.
That was
Like, I don't know.
awesome.
That's like classic.
That was
2000,
2007. Yeah.
Man, I want a Mountain Dew right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
when that ending happened. I was like, oh, like as a kid, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
What was that? 2006. I was 11 years old.
Yeah, man. I remember that. That was great. Michael Bay, and it's funny because people talk shit about him for so long. But since we're in a weird point right now where like we're talking about a lot of formulas in filmmaking, whether it's like superhero movies, so there's a certain formula that like now with Ambulance coming out, people are like, wow, like this is so refreshing to have something
A
different.
lot of people are talking about like the return of sort of like not only like action movies that don't have previously owned IPs and stuff like that, but like the return of like the adult drama, a movie with people talking in it, and it's fun to watch as a grown-up and you get invested in the stories.
Yeah,
and
man.
it's shot really well and there's budget in it and everything. And we're actually tonight, like after I leave here, I'm gonna go watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh, with Nick
With
Cage.
Nick Cage.
Okay, nice.
And that's a nice little original movie.
Yeah,
It seems like I can't wait to see it. And then Everything Everywhere All at Once, that's an original movie.
That was
so
a really good movie.
That movie in itself, like
That's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
there's so much going on, but like in the best way possible. And seeing that, like what they did with their own version of a multiverse, I was like, that's so creative. This is so well done. The action was really good.
It's a great, it's an easy Halloween costume. You get a googly eye and 2 Bluetooth things and you're good to go.
Woo! Such a good movie. And the fact that, I forgot the name of who wrote and directed this. I think it was a pair. I think it was 2
The Daniels.
The Daniels?
Just Daniels. This is Daniel Kwan, and I forgot the other one's name.
Okay.
But they also directed one of my favorite movies of all time. They've actually directed 2 of my favorite movies of all time. This one and Swiss Army Man.
Oh, with Daniel Radcliffe?
Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dano.
I didn't see that
That
one.
is one of the best
I heard,
movies
it's
ever.
with like
Is
he's
it
on an island and
he's
a
a
dead
corpse.
guy. Yeah, the corpse.
Daniel Radcliffe plays a corpse, which is what do they call him in the movie? They never say Swiss Army Man. He calls him a multi-purpose tool guy.
And it's really that good, Swiss
It's
Army Man?
fantastic, and it has the same sort of like you can't take it too seriously. Just like Everything Everywhere All at Once, you can't really like look at it from a lens of like some sort of sci-fi picture or whatever the hell. It's a movie about friendship, and it's a guy.
I gotta watch that one.
He becomes friends with a corpse, but in doing that, he learns how to accept himself.
Wow.
It's great.
It's
The movie starts with him trying to fucking hang himself. So it starts off really dark, and
That's so
then
interesting.
the first fart makes you laugh, and then the last fart makes you cry. Because what do corpses do? They fart a lot. So
Interesting. Yeah, no, I
It's great.
gotta watch that one.
I saw the movie on an airplane for the first time, which is a big no-no. But it wasn't on the. I brought my laptop. So
Okay, at least it's a little better.
I
yeah.
had my head, whatever. And I was crying so hard, the flight attendant brought me tissues without me asking for them.
They're Swiss Army Man? Yeah.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Here you
She
go.
was like,
No, yeah,
you're
I gotta
sorry.
add that I'm gonna look it up and see where I can watch that because I
good.
really enjoyed everything, everywhere all at once, and the fact that they were offered to do Loki from Marvel apparently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they said no. They're like, nah, and they did this.
That
instead.
makes sense. Yeah,
That's so cool.
They don't seem like people who want to. Well, at least for now, I don't know. If they ended up doing some comic book stuff, that'd be cool. I'd watch it.
It's cool that they were like, no, we got our own multiverse thing we want to do, and they literally did this movie.
That was neat. Yeah,
That's awesome, and it's doing really well in the box office too.
Yeah.
Still, even now.
That's the word of mouth, the power of word of mouth, which
incredible.
now is a lot better than it was before because now I can just post something and 700 people will see it.
It's really cool, man. And I wanted to ask you another thing. I don't know if you've been following like the CinemaCon stuff going on.
CinemaCon, is that a
Just
convention?
like
It's like
basically a convention. They take like, but I think you have to get invited for it. I think, but they're just previewing everything that's coming up. So people saw Top Gun Maverick already. People saw footage of the new Avatar movie. I don't know if you're a fan of Avatar, James Cameron.
I probably was when it came out.
When it came
we
out
all
in
were.
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
I'm sure we were all big fans.
I still am.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie in forever. I
Yeah.
made it a trivia question a few weeks ago that like, what's the name of the guy? What's the main character's name in Avatar?
Jake
Sully.
Yeah, you guys saw it recently, right?
No.
well,
but
you
we've
guys
seen
are
it
huge
multiple
nerds.
times. Damn it, I would have got that one right at trivia.
Or I think it was, what's the actor's name?
Sam Worthington.
I know the answer.
But he just, if it wasn't for the Avatar movie,
that man fell off hard as hell.
But
He was in everything for like
But
3
they were all
years.
really bad.
Man on a Ledge,
Terminator,
Clash
Salvation.
of Titans,
Wrath of the Titans.
Yeah.
Oh
in
my
both of
God!
them.
Is that with Liam Neeson?
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
Yeah, he fell
The
off.
trailer for Wrath of the Titans, though, was one of the best movie trailers I've ever seen.
It was
had
like
Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson.
I
in
hate
it.
when a movie trailer is so good and
remember
the
that
movie's
movie?
awful.
You remember that movie 9? It was an animated movie with
The
Elijah
number
Wood,
9,
John
yes.
C. Reilly.
Mhm.
The trailer had "Welcome Home" by Coheed and Cambria in it. Song wasn't in the movie, so I fucking hated it. I rewatched it recently though; it's not bad, but the trailer's way
I
better.
remember liking that movie. That happened to me with
Battle
Los Angeles.
Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah, I remember
Shit
watching the
movie.
trailer. I remember
Yeah.
watching the trailer, and it was the Sun's Gone Dim song from it was like John Johansson, great composer. But I remember the song. I was like, what song is that? But like the trailer was just so captivating. It's like, holy shit, this movie looks so good. I don't know if you remember the trailer for it.
I might. I saw it in theaters.
Oh,
I remember.
But the trailer
excited
was
for
just like, I was like, holy shit, this looks fucking.
You want to
epic.
talk great trailers versus terrible movies? We can talk about Suicide Squad for the next hour and a half. Like that trailer
Oh,
was a
yeah.
masterpiece. Using
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody. That was awesome.
Yeah. What was the? You know which trailer? That they showed at the Comic-Con. What was the song for it?
Which movie?
For Suicide Squad, the same,
Oh.
but it was the very first trailer. I don't. Is it no? Not the Bohemian Rhapsody.
The Bohemian Rhapsody trailer was incredible though.
Which one was that?
I
That wasn't the
don't-
first
That
like
was the
leak
second
trailer.
one, right?
The
That was
second one.
the main trailer.
Yeah, I think one had Blitzkrieg Bop. No, not Blitzkrieg Bop. Ballroom Blitz.
The one that the song, the lyric is the joke was on me, and it was
I
like
started a joke.
yes, and then it was
That's
like
the Bee
Harley
Gees.
Quinn. Yes, and it was like, but it was like a slower version. It was like Harley Quinn, like
Oh, yeah.
hanging on the thing.
And then they like used a weird cover in the actual movie, innit? I don't remember.
Yeah, something. I don't know. That
Wait,
movie
no.
was
I
really-
started a joke. Wasn't that in the Joker footage?
It was like a teaser trailer, and then at the end of the trailer showed Joker. You know, like I'm gonna
No,
hurt
it
you
showed
really, really
Joker like that. I'm talking Joker, Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
bad.
I don't remember.
No. That one was, like trailer foot. Like it was a song from the movie. I think.
Yeah,
like it was
I
actual
know, I know what you're
soundtrack.
talking about. Like the teaser for the Suicide Squad. It was like Harley Quinn like hanging off the prison cell.
I remember because
Yeah.
it leaked. It leaked from
It
Comic Con.
leaked from
Yeah.
Comic-Con, yeah.
And then that was the first look at Jared Leto's Joker, and it was him with like. you know,
when I
Yeah.
first saw him, I was like, "What the hell is that?"
I was on board.
I wasn't.
I
was
don't.
like, who is this, like,
I
Pimp
don't-
Daddy
I think the
Joker?
Joker is a character that doesn't have one like form of
I
being.
just-
The
Which
character
is-
can
that's
exist
fair.
in
Yeah,
any
yeah.
possible way at all. So if you want to do it like that, cool. If it fits in the story and it works for the
It's just I
the
didn't get
ambiance,
I just didn't get the whole pimp thing. I just didn't buy it.
cool.
I feel like you know what I think it is. I just didn't buy Jared Leto, and I don't dislike Jared.
I
I
feel
think
like he
he's a
tried
good
too hard.
actor.
No, I full on dislike Jared Leto.
As a person or as an actor or both.
As an actor now, I think
now,
I
yeah,
think
that's
he
what- yeah.
was great before, and then something happened. Maybe when he started leading a cult. Maybe when he, I don't know.
I've heard some weird stuff.
Got a
about
little
Jared Leto.
crazy. You ever see Mr. Nobody?
No.
It's a movie with Jared Leto.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of another multiverse movie.
Okay.
Where he has to make a decision, and then the universe will branch out into every possible decision.
Oh yeah, I see.
And
I
you
saw
watch
that
it all
one,
happen like next to
That's
each other.
interesting.
It's great.
It's a good movie.
It's it's incredible. And then he was also good in Chapter 27.
Dallas Buyers Club too.
He played Dallas Buyers Club was good. He plays Mark David Chapman in Chapter 27. If you
Okay.
don't know who Mark David Chapman is, he's the guy who killed John Lennon.
Okay.
So he's this guy who's like obsessed with Catcher in the Rye and like orders a hooker and doesn't have sex with her because it would happen in Catcher in the Rye. It's a good movie. And then I think it might have been whatever happened to him during Suicide Squad.
He started falling off a little bit.
Not necessarily because he's still getting these big movies and stuff, but
just in the sense of like quality wise, like he just hasn't.
he's not coming through anymore.
That's what, yeah, because like it's not like I dislike him as an actor, but he's just been kind of
Shit.
missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And
been
also,
missing
the whole
mark
method
lately.
thing is kind of dumb. I don't get the whole.
Kind of comes off a little.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's been talking about it. Like everybody's like, why?
It's kind of we've had enough of that.
I mean, unless
Yeah.
it's like look at Daniel Day-Lewis. Like okay, like I mean, that guy was.
At least
before.
it's justified by like a really good
Great
performance.
They're all good.
Yeah.
Like all
Like-
the Daniel Day-Lewis movies are great.
It's like
so it's cool.
masterpieces. All his
Yeah.
movies he's done. Is
And
like,
then you hear about like Jim Carrey doing Man on the Moon
Mm,
and having to be called Andy Kaufman, and then like Man
Yeah.
on the Moon's a great movie.
yeah. Did you see
not-
that documentary on
Jim and Andy, yeah.
Yeah.
The Great Beyond or whatever.
That's so.
He's just
that's
kind of an
scary,
asshole.
man.
Was it Robert Pattinson, my favorite actor, who said like you never hear about someone doing method when they're playing the role of like a really nice person.
Yeah.
They're always an asshole
They're-
every time. Like it's just an excuse to get away
I
with
mean,
doing bullshit to people.
Yeah,
mean,
Jared
look at Jared
Leto
Leto,
with
he-
the Suicide Squad.
the
He was sending
condoms.
used condoms.
Dead
and stuff.
rats.
Come on.
it's like okay, no, that's just you being weird.
Wait,
man.
if you're
That's
sending
just-
dead rats, where'd
where'd you get that?
Where are you
Or
killing
maybe
these
they
rats?
were alive. I don't know. Maybe the condoms were used and the rats were alive. Yeah, I think Margot Robbie like kept the rat.
And the used condom.
And the
No, hopefully not the used condom. I don't know. It's just
it's very
it's
weird.
such a weird attempt to like create buzz.
Like,
oh,
ooh,
everyone's
yeah.
talking about it because Jared Leto's a freak.
They had a therapist on set because
Ew. Come
Yeah, I
on.
don't
because they're just so in it, and then you watch the movie and you're like, I don't believe that any of these people are crazy. Like that's
We're
what's
the bad guys. Some kind of
And Will-
Suicide Squad.
yeah.
And, I don't know. And Will Smith
that-
not wearing the Deadshot mask really bothered me.
He wore it sometime, like at the beginning, right?
That's it.
That's usually the thing. Like, and then
Guy, you know that's the one thing.
Like
I
in
hate.
Spider-Man 3 when he pulls back the face to talk, Venom to pull it back to talk.
Yeah, I can't. But that's the one thing I hate. Like, wear the mask. Like that's part of the character. Like, come on.
yeah, we were watching the Halo show on Paramount Plus.
Is it good?
No, it's not.
Oh, that's, well, you guys
There's
are fans of the
people-
game.
Yeah,
I'm not. Maybe I'll like
No,
it.
no,
Maybe,
no, but
maybe.
the thing is, it's like if you just put on the helmet, the show would actually be good.
Yeah, so
It's
He takes the helmet off?
no, like he
like-
has it off all the time.
yeah, like he
Cool.
doesn't wear it.
Cool.
Cool. I might like that.
I might like that.
It's like it's like Dredd. It's like with Dredd not wearing the helmet.
But he wears the helmet in the movies, Judge Dredd, right?
No, not the one with the Sylvester Stallone though.
Sylvester Stallone, no, but the remake, which was really good. You saw the
Oh,
remake?
It was
Oh.
with
Carl Urban.
Carl
That
Urban.
one was really good.
No, but like the reason why that one was so good is because he stayed true to the character and wore the
Yeah,
like
he
the
had it
helmet
on
the
all the time.
whole time.
Yeah, it was cool.
But when you say things like true to the character, you're talking about your idea of what a character is.
Okay, no, but
The character is what is on screen,
no,
not
no, but
what
the
it
thing
was
is,
before.
If your character it requires you to wear like a helmet, like for example,
The character is required to do what's written in the script.
So you're saying like if you do a Michael Myers movie, he doesn't have to wear the mask?
And then that'll be the Michael Myers movie where he didn't wear it.
Yeah, but that doesn't. I feel
yeah,
like
I get what you're saying in the sense of like the defense usually.
There's a proprietary sort of like
with
belief in movies.
Mandalorian, he can't take it off because
But that's part
the
of a
rules,
culture. That
his
comes-
culture comes. Yeah,
That's
I get that.
That's like what people saying like I don't know. I can't think of an example, but the character is whatever is presented to you.
Yeah, I get what you're saying because like a Mandalorian, like it's like that's
The thing.
the rule book of why he can't.
In Halo, is it a thing that you can't take off the helmet?
To be fair, no. Like
And there,
in the games, he never takes it off.
because it's easier to animate a helmet than human emotion.
But even then, because with the game, what I liked about the games as they progressed is you see him only as this machine, but as the games kind of progress, he starts to question like, is there more to me than just being a machine? And it's really great games.
Is he a machine?
Spartans are like genetically enhanced soldiers.
Yeah.
Okay.
They get them from like as a child.
Spartans are the ones in the green with the orange.
Yeah, with the big armor.
It's the guy on the cover.
They're like 8 feet tall.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Master Chief, he's a Spartan. He's like the main. He's our main character.
Now,
that's fine. So like in all the games, he never takes it off. There's times they tease of him taking it off.
But he never shows his face
when he's disassembling his armor. When he's done. Fine, right? So we expected for them to take it off at some point. We understood that. But what bothered me is from the actor's perspective. I forgot Pablo Schneider.
He has a weird last name. I can't say it.
is he Latino or is he not Latino?
I think he is.
Because he said Pablo and then I don't know.
Yeah. He's like in Den of Thieves.
No,
Did you see Den of Thieves? All right, whatever.
awful.
But
Wait, Den of Thieves. Is that
50 Cent is in
It's
it.
like a rip-off
Heat.
Heat.
It's a rip-off of Heat, yeah.
It's like a crappy version.
So whatever. So we're going into the show. We really want this to work. And we expected for them to take off the helmet. They got this actor. Of course, they're going to show it, right?
Well, you'd think that about like Pedro Pascal, but
Right. And the way they did that in Mandalorian was great. It was
neat,
good.
yeah.
So with this, we're like, all right. But Master Chief is the Spartan. Like, that's who he is. Like, there's emotion coming out. It's like how they did really well in Mandalorian. Like, emotion is coming out of him without even having to see his face. Like, it's just the body language, Like with Mando, with Grogu, it's happening with him with that helmet on,
yeah.
And
I mean, there's also like your project. That's your emotion.
Okay.
The actual screenwriting and the script writing and the blocking and the editing and everything is making you feel something.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see literally this,
right,
which is nothing, you're seeing your own emotions.
Right.
But that's
their goal, right? Like their goal is to
do that.
To do that. So with the Halo thing, this is where it bothers me.
They didn't do that. They didn't.
No, so the first episode he takes off the helmet, right? He looks great. Like he's talking. I was like, okay. He takes it off, but the reason why he takes it off, I was like, okay, I get it. It's to show a sign of trust to this girl who doesn't know who to trust. I understood that. I was like, okay,
that's fine.
Now you did what you had to do to establish this trust for this person you're trying to save.
Put it back on.
Put it back on. The whole show, it became like, if you look it up, it became so obvious that it's the actor that wants to constantly be like, this is me under this.
Look at me, please.
It became like a joke
meme
on Twitter because he'll be like, he'll put it on for like a shot. He walks and just for anything, he'll be like, anyway, so, like it's like that kind of thing to the point where they're doing that Iron Man shot, like of the camera in the void. That that does not work with this,
even during a fight scene.
Oh, they did that with Iron Man during a fight scene, but it worked.
Iron Man, it works.
Yeah, but not for this. It was really weird.
We just got to see Chief, man. Like, but they're showing like there's a scene where he's like beating up like the alien or whatever, and they're putting a shot of him.
He's like grunting.
And it's him like, and it's like really awkward. It looks really weird, and it's him like,
Well, I gotta watch this show
just for screen time. It's like, hey, I need my screen. Like that's what it felt like.
For me, like, if for example, people got mad about Snake Eyes.
Who? People got mad about Snake Eyes?
Yeah, was it the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes?
That spin-off G.I. Joe movie?
Yeah,
because he doesn't wear the helmet.
Apparently, he only puts it on at the end.
At the end of the movie.
Oh, so it's like an origin movie.
Not really.
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
What?
No,
like,
what do you mean you guess?
He fights. I don't know. I didn't see it.
And then he puts it on at the end.
Yeah.
So Snake Eyes is officially Snake Eyes.
I guess.
No, but the thing is, he was wearing the suit though during other fight scenes, and he never wore the mask.
So what you're saying is you're agreeing that what makes Snake Eyes is the helmet, right?
I mean, yeah.
The movie is about his journey to become Snake Eyes. So if he wore it the whole time,
that I can't speak on Snake Eyes because I never seen it.
I never seen Snake Eyes, but that was a complaint that he wasn't wearing the helmet, and the people want to see Snake Eyes. Like that's
right. So like I can't with that, and with the Master Chief thing, I can speak on because the G.I. Joe we don't know shit about.
If the Halo show was is it like the game? Is it the game retold as a show?
No, they didn't even play the game.
It's a whole other thing.
They don't even respect the games. It hurts.
Okay.
At least like with Uncharted, what we talked about, like it honors
there's a thing, yeah. Okay,
but
with this, they're like, oh, they even flat out said it in public. They're like, oh yeah, we didn't play any of the games. We didn't look at the games.
It's a silver timeline.
Yeah, like we're just
neat. So there's no pressure.
Exactly.
I guess that's what
so
they.
If it's a separate timeline, then they're like, why are we
if they
upset?
fuck it up, there's no
because they're still using everything from the games. You know what I mean? And we've never got it.
Way?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the things that they use from the games is like, why? What are you doing? Like, it's such. For example, like the Alien Covenant, they're called the Covenant. They have like these energy swords, right?
That's a Alien. Oh,
They're called the Covenant.
Okay, you said Alien Covenant.
No,
I thought we were going to talk about Alien Covenant.
Oh, the movie? No. So they're called the Covenant. That's what they're called, the aliens. And they have like their signature weapon is like these energy swords, right? Like they're big.
I've seen that. I've been to nerds' houses before. Yeah.
So that right. That's like a cool thing. It's like, come on, it's kind of like the lightsaber for.
Yeah,
Star Wars
I know.
Yeah.
It's awesome as hell.
And in the show, they have this character who's not in the games or nothing. It's a brand new character.
Cool.
Doesn't make sense in the story, but I was like, whatever, fine, I'll roll with it. And for no reason, she has a mini energy sword that comes out of her nail. It's like a fingernail.
That's cool.
Almost like Terminator 2. You know, like,
but just a lame version.
Cool scene though.
Yeah, that's a great scene.
It's like things like two little prongs.
It just comes out. It just like that, like
little.
And I was like,
but are the big ones in the show?
We saw it like once in the. Like, that's the thing. It's just there's like 2 action sequences in the whole show, and we're like 6 episodes in.
Probably could have made it a movie.
That's what I said. That's literally what I said. They spent 6 years.
We've been asking that since like 2008.
Yeah, they've spent over 6 years trying to make this show.
Yeah.
And watching, I'm like, this took you 6 years. This feels like a CW sci-fi show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Those are terrible.
Just with like a little bit of a better budget because it's Paramount. And thinking about it, if you just got that budget that you spent, I think it was like, what, 10, 15 million per episode?
Yeah, it was a lot.
And I think it's probably like 150 million budget, maybe a little bit more or less. If you just took that budget, added another 50, you make a pretty good blockbuster 2-hour movie, even if it's an hour and a half, and you use the great story that's like, it's handed to you. Like, it's like you have it there. It's like it's like comic books, right? Like you have it there. Like if you want to adapt them to a movie, like.
But I enjoy when people change things in comic books.
I understand that, but
if I wanted to have the comic book story, I would just read the comic book.
But I'm saying in the context of this show, I'm like, dude, like what you said, make it into a movie, a 2-hour.
Yeah, making a show out of Halo seems kind of dumb. I don't know. I know that it's a video game and everyone's very, very, very invested in the story and they love the characters and it's a whole blah blah blah. And then I don't see why turn it into a show
when the action is the best part of it, right? It's super badass.
It's a first person shooter.
Yeah,
so, and shootouts and action sequences are your bread and butter, not cutscenes.
No, and it's literally. And most of the show, they want to get into like the military side of it.
It's like the boring stuff.
Boring human interaction. Like the general.
So it's a thing about Halo for people who don't like Halo. And the people who do people who not like Halo like the show?
Yeah. Like people who don't know anything about Halo, like they like it because it's like basic TV kind of.
It's very casual television. I'm telling you, like a CW sci-fi show. Like
no, but those are
like the. You know
what
talking
it is? Like let's get real, like good CW shows. Like you guys remember Smallville?
To me, it feels like very like basic television. Like even the cutting style and the music, the soundtrack. They don't even use the actual soundtrack from Halo. Yeah, and it's like the best soundtrack you'll ever hear.
That's that chorus thing.
It's like that very like if you're watching CSI or something. You know, it's beautiful. They don't use that. They use like very like it's
Law
like
and Order or like the CS.
It's like if you're watching Chicago PD, but in like a sci-fi setting. You know what I'm saying? The cutting style, like the editing style and acting style. That's what it feels like. Just it's like using the Halo brand.
And they have so many there's so many scenes where it's like this scene would look so cool if he was wearing the fucking helmet. Like
it's true. Like
it's like there was a shot. It was him standing in a battlefield or whatever. He's not wearing a helmet.
Why not?
Because this is my face. I'm an actor.
Yeah, like there's at some point I understood it at first, but like after a while, it's like, dude, okay, this is just all about you getting you want your face plastered everywhere.
I don't know.
He's like, I'm tired of people calling me Liev Schreiber's brother. I'm Pablo. Damn it.
I feel like the best person who did it, like the James Gunn Suicide Squad, Idris Elba. He had
a good balance.
Yeah, like he had a good balance of it.
It's time to fight. I'm gonna put it on.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like full on like start to finish wear the helmet, but give us a good amount of screen time with the helmet on. I feel like
just make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Yeah,
make it make sense.
If you're fighting people, you should be wearing a helmet.
Because in that movie, like he knew when to put it on and when to take it off, and that I really appreciate.
I really like that one, the James Gunn.
The Suicide Squad is the fucking fantastic movie.
Great.
Yeah, like the way I was like, yeah, like okay, when he's talking, he's not wearing it. When there's fighting, he like I think like the third act. He was wearing it up until it breaks.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's fine with me.
When it becomes like noticeably like obvious that you just keep taking it off to show your face,
like
it's
for example, like the shitty Suicide Squad,
the shitty Suicide Squad,
as opposed to these.
Release, these.
Like there was a
release
scene
the Ayer cut
with Will Smith. I was like, they're kind of like in that mall or like in the elevator. He's like, he puts it on. Right, and then he'll take it off. Like 2 seconds later, it's like, why did you put it on in the first place?
It's
like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why?
I get it, screen time and stuff, but
I don't know, and that's like, I don't know. I feel like if your character,
you got a guy like Will Smith in your movie, don't put a mask on him.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's true.
Will
that's
Smith
fair.
sells tickets.
Yeah,
his face does.
His hand too. that slap.
Oh God damn it!
The slap.
I don't know. I feel like I'm very like if the character has like a mask, it's like Darth Vader, and
but he needs to wear it to breathe.
Exactly, but I'm saying, but let's say
Deadshot doesn't need it to breathe. Matter of fact, it probably impedes his breathing.
Yeah, maybe.
Impedes his breathing.
But imagine if when Star Wars first came out and they made Darth Vader remove and take off.
Isn't there? There's a scene in one of the Star Wars movies when they're taking it off and he's like in that chamber.
Yeah, he's in like the.
That's in Empire, right?
Meditation. Yeah.
Yeah. When someone walks and he's like sitting in that weird dome,
and they're like, they're
thing.
putting it on,
and they're putting it on.
So like he probably doesn't sleep with it on. He probably gets hooked up to bigger machines to help him breathe and rest. And then when he has to move around, he
help me.
No, but
that's like the not cool parts that they don't show you.
That video we were watching yesterday, it was about that.
Yeah,
they're saying like what made Darth Vader so epic as a villain was the fact of his presence, like the helmet and all that. Like imagine if, let's say, he was taking off the helmet and he was putting it back on. It's not the same. It doesn't feel the same.
I guess even though Adam Driver is great, but this is not really a good example. But it's still like in Force Awakens with
Kylo Ren is the best character in all of Star Wars.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think he's cool.
He's the best character.
He's the best character.
Yeah.
He's
better than every other character that has ever been in any Star Wars movie. Second only to Jar Jar Binks.
I heard they're doing a spinoff Disney Plus series of Jar Jar.
Oh God.
That's a lie. You're lying.
That could be possible though. Think about it.
No, I'm fucking around about Jar Jar Binks, but I actually do believe that Kylo Ren is the most well fleshed out character. Because here's the thing, with all the other characters, it's like you talk about a character like in a movie, and somebody will be like, "Oh yeah, no," but in the novel, it goes into why he's like this and does that. Oh, and in another thing, it's because Kylo Ren's entire thing, aside from all the stuff that people know about for some random reason, like people know the history of like the Knights of Ren for some reason.
Yeah,
even though they are not in the movies.
Yeah, no,
they're not.
Yeah, no.
So his character is actually fully fleshed out from start to finish, using backstory, using good acting, using like music swells and beats and everything. He is fleshed from start to finish with no need for outside reference material or somebody telling you about something that they read on a wiki.
His
he's completely fleshed out.
I wish they used it more.
And he's cool.
But
like
his
Kylo
helmet
Ren.
is a part of his story.
Right.
He's wearing it because he wants to be like Vader.
Right.
And then when he decides that he's not going to be Vader, he's going to be himself, he breaks it. And then Rise of Skywalker happened and he put it back together. And that movie sucked, but whatever. I didn't like that he put it back together. If you're going to make the decision, like you said, make the decision to either have it on or have it off.
Right.
Don't go back on your decision.
I agree with that.
It just makes you it makes you not it makes you wishy-washy.
Yeah, but in Force Awakens, he had it the beginning, but he didn't have it on the third act though, right? And then the Force Awakens, I think when he kills Han, that's when he doesn't wear it
because he wants to look him in the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that he's not wearing the
helmet.
He
wants Han Solo to look in his eyes as he kills him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
That was cool. That was cool. And
I wasn't
Driver,
a big fan of that trilogy though.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big
fan. I like the first two. The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie ever made. Also, I actually have a shirt that says "Written and directed by Rian Johnson."
That's funny.
Yeah.
I have a shirt,
franchise killer.
I have a shirt that it's the Death Star with Rian Johnson's face and shooting the Death Star shooting. It says franchise killer.
I'm
totally opposing theories on The Last Jedi. I think The Last Jedi, like Force Awakens came out, and it was like, hey guys, remember when Star Wars was good?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh yeah.
I agree.
And then, like I said, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. I like when movies change shit.
Right.
I think it's fun. I think it's, pushing the envelope a little bit and being like, Last Jedi came out and I was like, what if Star Wars was not what you'd expect at all? And everyone went, ah! And then Skywalker was like, never mind, guys. Star Wars is just good.
To be fair, like
that would work in a solo film, but I think to do that in a fucking big
in the
saga,
middle of a trilogy.
I think it's cool to look at a trilogy as 3 solo films that come together rather than one big story.
But with Star Wars, it's always been like that.
It's always been like that. No, but it's time to change.
But when it's George Lucas's vision.
He's not involved anymore.
But hear me out for a second.
That's
it discombobulates, but it discombobulates the trilogy.
Those old movies still exist for you.
They exist, but do they make sense?
Well, like the ones in the past,
when
like
you
the
watch
original trilogy?
when we no. I'm talking about like the sequel trilogy, right? Like when we
the
go
ones.
And we watch Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker.
It falls off at Rise of Skywalker.
I don't know about that.
So like,
how I gave Finn a character to hang out with and have adventures with. Her name was Rose Tico, and then in part 3, he just meets another one to go on adventures with.
Finn in general, they kind of just. I think he just needed more for his character in general.
But I feel like in Last Jedi, I felt like Rian Johnson kind of threw Finn, like he kind of ruined Finn for me in Last Jedi. He didn't do anything.
What are you talking about? He completely toppled the casino thing. He ruined it.
But that
was awesome.
But the casino thing, does that play a part in the overall story?
100%. These are the people who are profiting off the wars of the stars. It's a big deal with war that people profit off of it. And why the movies have never touched on it is something that I think is wrong. It should be talking about who's really making money off this shit, which is rich people are bad.
Rich people. Yeah,
I'm with that. I'm with it. I'm down to see some troll-looking ugly guy get trampled by a crazy-looking 6-legged horse.
I don't know, man. I look at the trilogy, like the new trilogy at least, like, and it's like, okay, JJ had it's a battle of visions basically. Like JJ's like, okay, guys, he did play. I'm not a Force Awakens. Excuse me. Is fine. Like I agree. I think they played it very. Fun. It's fun, but it plays it very safe. Whatever.
It's whatever.
But it ends, and that's like one director's vision, right? And then the story is that JJ had like an outline for like the trilogy to follow, and then Rian Johnson came in and was like, "No, I'm not doing any of that."
Yeah, fuck you.
And then he like intentionally cut all of that off, right? Killing Snoke or whatever. And when you look at the ending of, and I think it's just a lack of communication and lack of just bad management from a producer standpoint, like Kathleen Kennedy, because as a producer, it's like if Kevin Feige is trying to build the MCU, and then like someone making the next project just is like, fuck this Iron Man movie. I'm gonna do.
That just means you're bad at improv, man.
But you know what I'm saying. And then
you don't say no in improv. You say yes and. Snoke is dead. Deal with it. Yes and.
But as
and
Kevin
that's what makes
Feige,
a good story.
Though, like Kevin Feige would, him being the good producer he is, he'll be like, no, wait, because this is the goals we have in mind. That's an example. But like with this, when you have Mark Hamill, who is literally Luke Skywalker, saying, hey, look, I don't agree with this. Like I don't agree with fundamentally, and he said this everywhere. Like I don't agree where you're taking this. This doesn't feel right.
It's not Star Wars.
My character or whatever. So when you have one director going one way, then you have the other director being like, I'm going to go this way. Just, I want to subvert expectations.
Yeah.
Fine. I understand it when he does it with his other smaller movies. I like Rian Johnson. I like his movies. After Last Jedi, I was like, I don't know what this is, man. I can't support you on this. Sorry. Because to subvert, and there's a video of him saying, like, I don't like when people like my movies. I like it when it's 50-50. I like whatever. That's his own weird thing. But the fact that you're like, no, you intentionally just want to divide a fan base and disregard what the people before you just set up for this franchise.
The lore, everything. Like,
lore-wise and stuff. And then you do that, and then you're like, all right, bye. And then the studio, well, not even the studio, but just
it was the
fans
base.
React how they react.
Because it was supposed to be Colin Trevorrow doing the third one.
And he had a script and storyboard
ready to go off of what Last Jedi did.
He was going to follow along,
which is fine. Yeah, because you have to.
I think his version actually would have been better than Rise of Skywalker, 100%.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't go with that.
Because of the fan base. The fan base wanted to retcon everything that Rian Johnson had done.
He didn't want Luke to die in 8. Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah,
he didn't want Luke to die in 8.
Yeah, because when this was going on, Colin Trevorrow already had a vision of where to go for 9. Like there was an overall, and with Star Wars, I understand like every movie should have its own thing. Like for example, James Cameron with Avatar, he did say like he's doing like 4 more. Yeah. They're each gonna have their own thing. I completely understand that. Yeah. But Star Wars has always been like these 3 arc things. And it's not like...
You're talking about 2 trilogies.
Yeah, 2 trilogies. And then like the Clone Wars series, which is really good. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen some of it.
But it's great. It's it enhances the prequels for sure.
Okay.
But,
yeah, big time.
When you get that, and then Colin Trevorrow had... You have a plan. Like, why would... And then this one guy being like, no, I'm going to just... Because I want to subvert expectations.
Well, no, but Colin Trevorrow's movie would have gone with everything. It would have followed.
Because he had to... figure it out. Like he had to change the script
because he's good at writing.
I think he's good, but it's Rise. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Rise of Skywalker, really bad movie.
Garbage. Yeah,
really bad movie.
It left a bad taste in my mouth, and I honestly am a little burned out on Star Wars. Mm-hmm. I did not watch. I watched The Mandalorian because I watched the first season. Mm-hmm. There's a second season.
Yeah,
there's 2 seasons right now. Yeah,
I think I watched. Did I watch the second season? How does the second season end?
If I tell you,
with the Luke
thing, yeah,
because he shows up. Yeah. Okay, I saw season 2 then as well. Okay,
I didn't want to like ruin it completely.
I didn't watch Boba Fett.
You're not missing much.
Yeah,
I watched some episodes of Star Wars Visions because that's exactly what I like. Is things being different.
Those are cool. Yeah. I saw you show me one.
I think that no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. And I think if you're a real Star Wars fan, there's a real sort of like proprietary feeling. Like these movies belong to you and they are like so important. But like if you step back, like they're movies about space wizards, like for children. Like that's real.
Completely fair.
And that's great. When you kind of take a step back and see them for what they are, and rather than what they could be or what you want them to be, then you could just like fucking just like have fun at the movies and don't be all.
That's fair. No, but that's fair because I think that toxic fandom pushed away George Lucas with the prequels. Right,
100%.
I completely agree with that because if that
they made Jake Lloyd retire from acting.
Yeah,
and traumatized him a lot.
Yeah, I completely agree because you know what? People looking back at the prequels are like, you know what? Like these are pretty good. Like I like the prequels.
Me too.
I grew up on the prequels.
I was fucking like 5 years old.
Yeah, I grew up.
I loved Jar Jar. You want to know why? Because Jar Jar was made for me. Because I was 5 years old. Because these are movies about space wizards for children.
And that's fair. I agree with the toxic fandom thing.
Yeah, the toxic, yeah. But I think the hate that Last Jedi got was more because he got everything that George Lucas has built and he kind of like took a big shit on it.
It felt like he intentionally wanted to
change
bash
things.
It. No. The way it looked, like it feels like he intentionally wanted to just bash things. Like for example,
cool.
The way The Force Awakens ends. You remember like Luke looking at the lightsaber?
Yeah.
And it was just everybody's like, oh my God, it's Luke. And
he didn't hold it. He kind of looked at it.
But like he was looking at her. I'm sorry. He was looking at her.
Yeah.
And then to throw it into the ocean is awesome.
But if you look at that last take of Force Awakens and the first take of Last Jedi when he shows up, it's completely 2 different movies.
It is 2 different movies.
But and you know what I'm saying? Like it's the character-wise.
Yeah, the character-wise.
Like one thing, like Force Awakens, you can feel like he's like he can
because
sense
you're
something.
looking at Luke from Rey's perspective, and then once Last Jedi starts, you're looking at Luke how he really feels, which is he doesn't like that she's there. And because she shows up at the end of the first one, and she's like, "Oh, here he is, the hero." And then Luke is shot like a hero. And then the second one starts, and the second one's all about tearing down the idea of the hero. That you shouldn't worship anybody or anything, and no person is perfect. There is no such thing as a prophet Messiah. This is also what Dune is about, by the way. But you shouldn't put all your hopes and dreams into one person, because you're only going to get disappointed. And he will fail you. Everybody will fail you, because life is hard. It was like, okay, Star Wars has always been this one thing, which is about how heroes are good and villains are bad, and the good guys win, and yeah, good night, everybody. And then Last Jedi came around, and I was like, no, this hero's kind of fucked up in the head as well, as we all are. But just because you're fucked up in the head doesn't mean that you can't do the right thing and help save a lot of people.
Star Wars has tackled that before.
Yeah, sure.
The middle area,
but not as strongly as The Last Jedi did, which was literally being like, take everything that you think you know about Star Wars and just kill it, because that's over.
But
and then people couldn't deal with the fact that it was over.
It did it by like completely disrespecting one of the main characters of the franchise.
I don't think it was disrespecting him. I think it was humanizing
when
him.
You have
it was humanizing
when you
him.
have Mark Hamill himself being like,
and he knows that character better than anyone.
Like, you know what I mean? And then he knows what George Lucas wanted to go, because I get what you're saying. Because
but Mark Hamill has also said that whatever you believe Luke Skywalker to be, that's what Luke Skywalker is.
But he had no choice. He literally said, "This is not my Luke Skywalker." He's like, "I'll go with," because
it's Disney the character is not what your idea of a character. The character is whatever is given to you. The character on screen is the character.
Because he was arguing with Rian Johnson, and he was like, "Look, like this, I don't agree with this. This doesn't seem."
And then Kathleen Kennedy told him,
"This is your version of what you want to do. Then fine, I'll do the best I can, but I don't agree with it."
Okay.
And when you have like.
That's why he's not a writer. He's not the writer of the movie.
But you know what I mean? This is a guy that's worked with the creator of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And because I get what you're saying in the sense of like Star Wars being different. I think George Lucas was really good at that. Like the prequels was, when people watched the prequels, what was the initial reaction? People were like, oh my God, like I get that.
Political now.
Right. And I really like that. And I like that he was evolving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was evolving it. And when you watch Clone Wars and Rebels, Dave Filoni, who was always with George Lucas, he was, following along with what he had intended. And to see where the story was evolving to, his next set of the next trilogy he was going to do was going to evolve even more.
I like the harsh evolution, though. I like that because there are no more Neanderthals. They're all dead.
But in The Last Jedi, though, he tried to kill Kylo Ren.
I'm like, that didn't make sense to me.
He didn't try to kill him. He had a moment of
but he's dealt with that already.
But he's dealt with that. He's literally like,
he's always going to deal with that.
But like in the sense of,
he didn't
his
fix
father
it.
was the most evil person in the world.
Yeah.
And he
never thought to kill. He always thought, no, there's good in him.
His character was always
your
about
nephew,
hope.
As a kid, you think, for like a split, like it just doesn't make sense.
It does. He's a person.
No, it doesn't make sense.
You haven't lived your whole life. You could slip up and murder someone in your 60s. Just because you haven't killed someone into your 20s doesn't mean that's not what you are.
But as a Jedi master or whatever.
Even better. How high they have come and how far they have fallen.
The way the scene was, at least the way it was executed.
It was executed twice from two different perspectives. Because Kylo thought that he was definitely going to kill him. And then Luke's face of disgust or whatever, and the second time they do the flashback was, again, from Luke's perspective. Because you're looking at things at the end of The Force Awakens, it's Rey's perspective. And at the beginning of Last Jedi, that's Luke's. It's different. It's different things because you have unreliable narrators and stuff like that.
His reasoning for it didn't make sense. Because he sensed a little bit of darkness in him.
It wasn't a little bit. He sensed really bad darkness.
Yeah, but he was sleeping, first of all. And not only that, he was just training normally.
Yeah, if you tell me Kylo Ren was having a full-on rage attack,
if you told me,
you know what I mean?
Mace Windu sensed darkness in Anakin when he was 10. So it's been a thing. It's been established.
Yeah, but he didn't put it fucking slice his head
because
off.
he kept his cool. But
because he's a Jedi Master.
Okay, but Luke is not a Jedi Master.
There it is.
At this point, he's Luke Skywalker.
He didn't finish his training. He never did.
No,
he didn't finish his training.
Exactly. Mace Windu did.
He finished his training with the Jedi Temple. Luke built his own.
Luke Skywalker.
He's a fucking dollar store Jedi, all right? He's a dollar store Jedi.
He's a fraud.
And I don't know.
Whatever. But besides that, I think,
Mace Windu should have cut that little kid's head off. Would have been a
like,
way cooler movie.
I think you should watch Clone Wars and Rebels because it's really good. Like,
Yeah,
I know
sure
you're Star Wars fatigued, but like that stuff is really good.
It'll probably be a couple years before I decide to pick Star Wars back up, to be honest.
Do it, and whenever you're
And
ready.
when I'm at a bar or hanging out with friends and they bring up Star Wars, it's happened with you. I've shut you down. I said, do not talk to me about Star Wars.
Yeah. I
hate
remember
talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, I feel you.
I think it goes nowhere because, like I said, people have this sense like these movies belong to them, and they don't.
Yeah. But it's not a sense of that it belongs to them.
It
I can't
has a
speak
very
for everyone.
special place in their heart or whatever.
I can't speak for everyone because I do agree. Like, even back to the prequels.
I think the most beautiful thing about Star Wars is how many fan films there are. So if you want to watch what you want to happen, there's a fan film where that happened. There's even fan films where they fuck each other. You know what I'm saying? Watch that. I don't fucking know. Whatever you're into, it exists. You could read a novel with what you want. And then the fact that they made a Hollywood movie with something that people didn't want, I think tough fucking tits,
But
man.
it's not even that. It's the fact that this was the last time we were going to see, like, we got a sequel trilogy. The last time we're going to see these characters and actors together again.
You can watch the old ones as many times as you want.
No, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. And it was discombobulated. Like, there was no organization. That's not even the director's faults. That's just who's overhead.
It's
which
bad improv.
Kathleen Kennedy and
It's always bad
whoever's in charge at Lucasfilm. Because whoever's in charge should have been like, hey, wait, we need to be on the same page here. Because this is what we have, right? George Lucas, I mean, he did basically all of them by himself. But no, the originals, let's say. He did New Hope. I forgot the director.
This is Return of the Jedi. It was Irvin Kershner who did 5.
Yes. And
God, I hate myself.
but he was there on set and they were on the same page of where the story was going to go.
Totally.
Empire Strikes Back was very different from New Hope in the sense
People
of like
hated
tone.
Empire.
Fine.
It
They
ended
lose
very
at the end.
depressing.
They lose at the end.
Yeah.
And then Return of the Jedi.
I love that.
But George Lucas, it all
was the
flowed
idea,
as one story. It wasn't like Empire did something completely that didn't really match with something else, and then we're like, okay, no, we're just gonna.
I think The Last Jedi matched up pretty well with The Force Awakens in the fact that it was shifting perspectives from Rey,
But as
hopeful, and then Luke being kind of losing it and then learning to gain it by the end of it when he decides to come back.
I don't know, man. I don't see it
fall.
that way.
It's Luke's fall and then return to grace, which I think is a great story. It always happens with like superheroes when they get old. Doesn't Batman start killing people when he gets older and stuff? Like, and then nobody hates Batman for it. He does lose hope, and Batman is a symbol of hope. All superheroes are. But so Batman loses hope at a certain point, and then it's great to see him rise to the occasion and become better again. But just because he had a moment where he slipped up, doesn't make him any less of a hero. It doesn't make him any less of a role model. We all slip up. Like nobody's perfect.
Yeah,
right?
no,
So
I
fucking hell.
I don't disagree with the concept. I think that's a very nice concept.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's just makes sense with what Star Wars where it's at that point already.
But where it's at that point is what was going on in the movie.
Yeah, because,
that is the point.
Because they wanted to go that route. I don't know, but
And then they got so much backlash from fans that they decided to say, "All right, sorry, never mind."
yeah,
Which is the worst thing. Like, imagine you go.
But it
like,
just goes to show the lack of
yeah, no,
organization in the
big slip
studio.
up.
And,
if they would have doubled down and be like, no, we gave you the movie. That's the movie.
Yeah, but
If
and
they
we're
had
gonna
some sort
keep
of
going with
plan,
the story.
if they had a plan, but that's the thing, they didn't have
no,
a
but
plan.
the problem is that they had to back out because the Han Solo movie flopped. It made no money,
Yeah.
and that was
a
because
good movie.
people.
I like that movie.
And that was people
pretty good. It was
protesting
a-
in a
it was
way of like,
Space Western.
you know, and,
Yeah.
and that was people, fans like, you gave us that, now we don't want to give you money. Next, how do you hurt Disney? Is by not giving them money.
They have all the money in the world. They don't feel it.
They felt it in Solo.
At some point, yeah. When you start to see your biggest IP
Not making
take
money.
a hit like that. But I think Rise of Sky. I would have liked to have seen Colin Trevorrow's
Yeah.
version way better. I thought what he was going with that seemed pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's just
The idea that you don't have to be anyone to like make a difference. That last shot of The Last Jedi with that little boy uses the Force is so beautiful.
yeah. I'm okay with
And
like
then,
that's
like,
fine.
like Rey being just Rey would have been awesome.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
but I think the trilogy as a whole is a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have
I like the first two.
like, I like the first, but like,
I like the first two.
when you see what George Lucas did with the two trilogies, so like the other two, the prequels and the sequel,
original.
This is clearly a guy that had this world in his head, and he was evolving it, even if people didn't like it, like the prequels.
Then he left.
And then he chose to sell it because he didn't want to deal with it, which I think was a big mistake. And I think he knows it was a mistake because
he cares.
He gave them his outline because he was going to evolve it more. And the Clone Wars tackles that a little bit.
Let's talk about the real problem. The fact that George Lucas originally wanted to make a Dune movie.
Really?
And then he ripped off Dune. And he called it something stupid.
Dune is great, by the way.
Called it Star Wars.
Dune is great. Did you like the Dune movie? I think we talked about this already.
Dune is my favorite novel of all time.
How did you feel about the...
I fucking love the movie.
Okay.
The movie's great.
Okay.
And and everyone's like, oh, it's a lot like Star Wars, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
George Lucas read the novel in the early 70s, and he wanted to make it into a movie. Didn't have the budget, I guess, couldn't get the rights or something like that. And so he ripped it off in Star Wars.
Interesting.
They're literally moisture farmers.
It's like, it's like Star Wars. Thing. It's like Star Wars and Game of Thrones in one thing.
Which is just the original thing. This is 1965 was when
insane.
Dune was written.
I love the movie, by the way. And I appreciate the fact that Denis, he's a huge fan of the books and stuff, he decided to do it in 2 movies as opposed to 1 and took his time. People are like, oh, it's kind of slow. It's like a prologue. I love that.
Beautiful.
It set me up with the world beautifully. Like when the movie ended, I was like, I wanted more. And I saw it like 3 times in theaters. And I was like, okay, like I understand this because this is coming from someone who's never read the books and people that are huge
Did it make
fans.
you want to read the book?
Yes, but I don't want to because I want to just experience it on the big screen, then read the book after. Does that make sense?
I've read the first 4, and it didn't take away from my enjoyment at all.
No, I'm I'm kind of big on the whole like I don't want to know. I just want to experience it for the first time on screen. Like spoilers or whatever.
If you're a fan of reading, or if you're a fan of like good stories, read the book.
Yeah.
Promise you, you're not going to regret it.
Because I had some friends I had on the podcast once. This was before the movie came out. I was like, it was announced. And I told him, look, I haven't read the books or anything. And he's like, dude, it's really cool. Like, if it works well, it can be like our own like Star Wars or this. Like, it's just like that whole world. So it's like that sense of world building. So he's like, don't read up on it. Don't do anything on it. Just watch it for the first time. Because we were talking about the director, Denis, and stuff. He's great. So watching it for the first time, I was like, it was a lot to process. I was like, holy shit. But like the world was so cool, but it was very different and weird. So it, like
it is this,
the soundtrack.
It is this universe though. It's not in a galaxy far, far away. It's this galaxy. It's right here.
It's
in the book, he talks about that Paul is a descendant of like Agamemnon.
It's interesting.
And he even brings up Hitler in the books. Because Paul leads a sort of like war that kills hundreds of billions of people.
Right.
And he says, he kind of has this thing with the spice that shows him all the human history in one go. And he goes, people used to fear a man named Hitler, and he's nothing compared to me.
That's interesting.
That's fucking awesome. You got to read the book, bro.
Yeah,
there's no way that dialogue is going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
But like to read it in the book is really jarring and fantastic. And that Dune is very much about when I brought up The Last Jedi, and I'm talking about how it's important to sort of talk about how you shouldn't have heroes. Right. Heroes are a bad thing. Don't put at least real ones.
Right.
Don't put any of your hope in a person. Like that's not a thing that's real. Like they're gonna fail you. Paul is people were calling it Dune. It's a white savior movie.
I heard something about that.
A white kid comes and saves a planet of Middle Eastern people. No, he doesn't.
Interesting. Yeah. Again, I know nothing about it. So when I saw the movie, I was just so. And when it ended, it feels like a prologue. It feels like it
learns
ends.
This in the movie that he will be horrible. He said what is it? A crusade in my name. Blood in my name, wars in my name.
Oh, yeah.
He knows it's gonna happen.
Oh, when he's having the
visions of the future. That's real.
Like great acting, by the way.
Oh
too.
Yeah, fantastic. But like that's a real thing, and I think the fact that I'm such a big fan of that theme in particular speaks to why I like The Last Jedi so much, because it is all about tearing down whoever you like, literally disrespecting and tearing down whoever you think is great. No, they're not. I love that. Let's ruin it. Let's tear it down. Kill the past.
Kill the past. Yeah, literally. Like, yeah. I don't.
Gotta love that.
There's so much I could say. Like
harsh
Star Wars.
evolution. Harsh. there are no more Neanderthals alive.
Yeah,
they're all dead.
Literally,
and they did not
Jedi,
die peacefully.
Last Jedi literally does break that fourth wall of like,
love that shit.
like you're not part of the story. What is that he said? And I was like,
you're not part of the story. You're nobody.
Just at that point, stare at the screen and
this isn't your story.
I don't know, man. Look, I get it, but like tell that in a different story. You know what I mean? Like why come and just?
I love that you saying that just reinforces.
No,
what I'm saying.
because it's like I get it, but it's like why?
Isn't it great we're having a conversation about The Last Jedi like 6 fucking years after it came out? Gotta love this.
Yeah.
What a great movie, huh? Yeah.
No, definitely.
Yeah,
no.
it is. Yeah, it is.
No,
Rewatch
man.
it from the lens of a person who wants to watch the world burn, and you will fucking love it. I promise you this. And you too, you talking shit, thinking Last Jedi is all terrible or whatever, watch it. You're gonna love it. Watch it from my perspective as someone who just like hates the status quo and wants to watch it all burn. Check it out. It's a better movie than you remember. I promise.
It's worth it.
And the performances alone are worth watching again.
Look, I like the actors. I like all that stuff, but the trilogy as a whole, it's a mess. It's not. It's just a mess of a trilogy. It is.
Okay, we're not talking trilogy. We're talking movies. One movie, Last Jedi.
Yes, and it breaks.
From beginning to end is cohesive. From the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie works.
Last Jedi, for me, is like one of the worst movies of all time.
Well, then. You haven't watched a lot of bad movies.
No, I've seen a lot of bad movies.
It's gonna have to be an agree to disagree.
Which is why I don't talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, completely. Hey, man.
Because I have a very controversial opinion about Star Wars, which is that I love Star Wars so much that I fucking hate it.
That's all right, man. I mean, you know what? Like, it is what it is. I think Disney's handling of Star Wars in general has just been really poor. Last Jedi aside, just if you just take, but just the whole handling.
Yeah,
of it.
sure. I think Star Wars has always been kind of flimsy.
I you know what hurts me the most with it is just I wish we could have just gotten and he did say this, George Lucas, when he sold it off, he gave him the outlines and stuff, and they told him Bob Iger at the time told him like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna use the outlines and then he realized like they weren't doing that, and then that's when he kind of started speaking out about it a little bit, like yeah, like you can kind of sense that he kind of regretted it because he thought. From his perspective, what it seems to me is like he sold it off to Disney, this huge, company that can go ahead and make it into and put in their theme parks for kids.
Great.
And this and that and all these things. And like that they would, Bob Iger, he thought was like a friend, Kathleen Kennedy, they all knew each other, that they would take this and keep it in good hands. And I just don't see how they did that. Just even from a producing standpoint, when you have just this.
So Star Wars sucks now.
I think where it's led, I just don't see.
All right, cool. Whatever.
To me, I'll keep it at the first 6, and I like the Clone Wars shows. I like Rebels. Mandalorian is good. I'm not a fan of Boba Fett, but Mandalorian was cool. But honestly, for me, like. I grew up on the prequels. I love the prequels. Yeah. They have their issues, like of course, like Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. Like they have their issues, but I do love and respect.
They're all different movies that stand on their own. So Phantom Menace is a political thriller,
I love that.
Part 2 is a romance, action romance, and then Part 3 is a Greek tragedy.
Yeah, love it. And I think that ending of Revenge of the Sith, and then knowing where that leads to the next, I love that. I love how. It all flows. The prequels are very different, but it connects.
It's very neat.
It's this nice soap opera, like what he called it,
Space opera.
Space opera. Thank you.
Soap opera's weird.
Yeah. But yeah, space opera, and just I don't know, man. It's good storytelling, even if the dialogue could be cheesy and like kind of bad or whatever. I love a good story that is cohesive. And with the new trilogy, I don't think we got that.
Well, then here's my advice to you.
And that's not even only because of Last Jedi, because I get it. Like I know JJ,
you're talking about a whole thing. Yeah, I understand.
Just from a producing standpoint.
Here's my advice to you: read Dune.
That's why I'm excited about Dune.
And then you're good.
Yeah.
You will, I think like I stopped liking Star Wars after I read all the Dune books.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh,
This is so
this
good.
is way better,
I
shinier, and
Uh-huh.
it's more well thought out.
That's why
and
I'm
it
really
definitely
excited
works.
about Dune. I'm really excited about Dune because I love this world that we're in.
You're excited about the movies, but I'm talking about like if you said you're a fan of
Mhm.
cohesive, well thought out, well told stories.
Mm-hmm.
Read the books.
That's why. So like that's where I'm at. Like I want to read the books. I might just read it.
Yeah.
Because I love that, and the fact that there's gonna be more movies.
Yeah.
And like I love that. It's like this. It's another version of
And
like
a
Star
book,
Wars or
and
Harry
book
Potter.
sales also go into the factor of like, are we going to continue making these movies? So do that. Help that out.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh man. Yeah. Like
I have like 3 copies of Dune. I will lend you one.
I mean, shit, man.
I love that book.
Yeah.
And I'll reread it with you. We could book club the thing. All right. I don't.
That'd be awesome.
I love that
awesome.
book a lot.
Yeah. Huh. Damn. And I do because. Again, I know nothing about it, but watching just the movie alone, it had me invested in everything already. Like, I want to know more. Like, we talked about it. Like,
the book goes in.
The
Obviously,
books
it's a book,
and
so it
this.
goes more into depth of everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, and then after the reason I can talk so, willy nilly about Star Wars is because it just seems like old news to me.
A small speck compared
a small,
to
little that toy's not that shiny anymore.
Right.
And meanwhile, it's not. It's like it's a toy I got at the dollar store.
right.
And meanwhile, Dune is like a car.
An
actual automobile with working parts. And then it really does make Star Wars seem very small.
Yeah.
And very inconsequential. Which
That makes sense.
Which is why I don't really.
You're just very like,
I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I say I'm burned out on it, and it might take me a few years to go back into it. And I think it needs to be to the point where I'm watching it out of nostalgia,
right,
rather than like actual investment in it. And reading Dune has done that to me in terms of like several franchises. I still keep up with Marvel. I love the Marvel movies. I love DC movies. I'm like anything you put Superman in anything, I'm gonna watch it.
Right,
He's my favorite superhero of all time. But that's something that's forever. But like even then, like I used to be way more into it. And then I read the first 4 Dune books, and I'm like, I don't know. I kind of got what I was looking for in a fully cohesive, fully thought out, well put together story. And now we're getting movies about him. So like, I'm happy.
From like a very competent like director that loves the material.
We're even getting a series about it. Like it's coming.
Yeah,
all these sort of things. The
stuff.
sister, the Bene Gesserit show. We're getting all this stuff. It's like I don't want to play with you anymore.
You're like Andy from
yeah.
I don't want to play with you
anymore. I don't want to play with
Star
Wars anymore. I just don't. And it's been a long time.
I feel
coming.
that
in the fact that like the new movies, like The Last Jedi, I loved it. Still kind of let me down. Obviously, I still kind of felt a little hurt about it,
right?
Because I was really invested in the character, and I didn't start loving The Last Jedi until I kind of looked at it. Like I said, I stepped back and look at it and say, "Yeah, you know what? Fuck these characters.
Right?
Fuck it all. Who gives a shit? Fuck it all up. Let's do something entirely different and new, and see what happens."
And you think that's like from a stance of like you've like that fatigueness that you felt that you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Just like
it might
whatever.
It might be that. It might be getting older.
Interesting. I can get that.
Yeah, it might be just sort of being like, I got a lot going on in my life right now.
Like, fuck it, whatever.
Fuck it, just do something crazy. Like, make me go, what? Like, do that. Instead of me going like, yeah, make me go like, what the fuck are you doing?
All right,
That's insane.
I get that. That makes sense. I'm just, for me, it's just like, because,
yeah.
I know.
I know.
Yeah,
How many fucking articles I've read and think pieces and videos about people like, Last Jedi and why it sucks and people love bashing movies and shit. I get that. But
I hate bashing movies though, man.
It's great to go to the movies, sit down, have a big tub of popcorn, and then go home and go to bed. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
That the movie belongs to.
That's why, and like with Dune and stuff, like I'm very, you know who I agree, Zack Snyder, where they asked him once, like, oh, would you direct a Star Wars movie? And he said something like, oh, I feel like it's like Star Wars is not for me anymore. Like that's past me.
Yeah,
that's for someone else, and I completely understand what he's saying. Like
that's kind of where my heart is.
It's just in another direction that it just like for me, like what I just said right now about the whole new trilogy, and it's not going to change. Like that's just
if it would have continued with the complete upending of what Last Jedi did, like completely just like let's turn it into something completely new. I think that would have been like, all right, Star Wars is different now, and. It might not. It's not that I'm comparing it to what it used to be, but like, oh, it's new. it's new rather than just like it's the same. It's what Star Wars has always been, and that's what it'll always be.
I would usually agree with that if like because I have no problem with like seeing a new take on Star Wars. You know what I mean? But it's like if you have a saga, it's called like the Skywalker saga, and there's this clear 9-film plan for it that the creator had, and then like the last 3, you know, he's trusting you with it, and he's like, hey, look, like this is what I have. These are the outlines, and they're like, yeah, and then they think they know what they're doing, and then it's a complete mess. That bothers me. You know, if you told me right now, like Rian Johnson's like, I want to do a spin-off of Star Wars. And do whatever it is. Like, what's they haven't done much yet, but like, there hasn't been anything yet. I mean, I feel like Clone Wars and Rebels is really good. Like, it's nothing. There's original characters that like they're featured in it, like from point to point, but like the Ahsoka Tano character, like seeing her evolve from
if you
the
do
Clone
a spin-off
Wars
that is inconsequential to the entire story, then you're not really doing anything.
No,
you may as well make a
set
fan
in that
film.
world. No,
Might as
but
well
if
make
it's
a
set in
fan
that
film.
world, but like if you're dealing with a Skywalker saga,
Talking like Rogue One,
it's like a prequel.
it just reinforces the story being told in a new way,
right?
But from a different perspective. That's cool, but let's take the characters and ruin them.
But now, when you have a Skywalker, like for example, like
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I get what
like,
you're saying. It's
like
cool.
when Last Jedi is like, oh, it's forget about the past,
Yeah.
forget about this, but it's like this is a story about the Skywalker saga. We're not here for.
Yeah, and
you know what
the
I'm saying?
Skywalker saga doesn't end when they die. It ends when we understand the legacy, which,
right?
Yeah, which is why Luke deserved to die in 8.
Well, it is what it is. I'm very excited for Dune. I think Dune is very awesome. It's a whole other world to like explore. Cause like we always think back on it, like there's like Star Wars, we love like Harry Potter, you know, like stuff like that. And like what's the new, like we felt like there hasn't been something like that. You know what I mean? Like this.
I think it's a good thing. Let's stop sucking franchises dicks.
No, no, that's true.
There's no other way to put it.
Because Marvel would
let's
be
go see
that.
original movies directed by people you've never heard of, starring people you've never heard of.
True.
Let's go ahead and go on a limb. Let's make it not an A24 movie.
Oh yeah.
You know, just do something new.
Look at Zack Snyder. He's doing that new sci-fi movie. It's like an original sci-fi movie that he's doing, which I mean, it looks cool.
Why, like,
no, get the big budget out of here. Get the
sci-fi
out of here.
Yeah.
Let's have a movie where a guy robs a bank. When's the last time you saw one of those? Those used to
Ambulance.
be awesome.
Ambulance.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that movie rocked, right?
Yeah.
I
love movies like that.
This is the future of movies, is where we just take human stories told in a human way.
I completely agree.
That's also like it's not just like the future of cinema or whatever, but these movies have been being made forever. It's just that now we're growing up and we're getting older and we're learning to appreciate these instead of whatever it is that space wizards do with their time. Which
I completely agree, man. Like that's why I mean we saw Ambulance, Northman, Everywhere, Everything, All at Once. Like all great movies.
I'm gonna go see Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yes.
And there you go. That's a movie. Like it is an existing IP. It's Nicolas Cage.
Yes, literally though. And I'm all for it. Like I completely agree. And of course, A24 movies because it's A24. That's a given.
But no, they have shit movies as well. Like,
but it has to be from.
Let's do some new shit.
I guess like that. Those mid-budget movies. I feel like
fucking beautiful. Movies.
Northman is. I believe it's like considered
it's
like a
giving
mid-budget.
a bigger budget to a guy who's used to working with low budget.
Exactly. Yeah.
Evans, you know, whatever. But like, I don't know. It's just there
needs to be more of that. For sure.
As we get older, it's time to stop worrying so much about what characters you loved when you were a kid are doing.
Yeah.
And just start. I don't know.
Something new. I agree.
Make your own fucking movies.
These new IPs or like remakes. I can't.
I'm cool with it. I don't mind. But like, you know,
we need this in the middle.
I want my veggies with my candy as well.
Exactly.
And the veggies, it's all candy. It's bullshit. It's all fun. It's all great. You ever been to the movies? Have you ever been to the movies?
It's amazing.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's why like I'm not on that. You know how it's like, oh, it's either Marvel versus indie films. Like I think we should have
both of them.
Yeah.
No.
Like I'll go watch The Northman and then go watch Spiderman No Way Home. You know what I mean?
The Northman feels like a pretty
mid-budget. That's mid-budget. Yeah.
What's out right now that's kind of low budgeted? I don't know. See, I can't even.
Right now, I don't think.
I can't really think of anything.
Everything all at once seemed kind of like a higher budget as well.
Yeah.
I think it seemed it was done really well.
Well, the Daniels know how to work with a small one.
That's awesome.
Watch movies that have been out for a long time that you missed.
Yeah.
Movies that you meant to see. Go see Swiss Army Man. Watch
I
Demolition with Jake Gyllenhaal.
You know, I keep seeing clips of that movie.
That's
but
a
I
great
haven't seen
movie. It was a meme for a little bit because Jake Gyllenhaal does a weird dance in the train.
Yeah, that's the only clips I've seen.
That's a great movie. Watch mid 2000s low budget romantic comedies, like The Science of Sleep, directed by Michel Gondry. That's my favorite movie of all time. It's got a shit budget. It's awesome. The stuff is done. It all takes place in dreams, so nothing needs to really look that crazy.
Yeah.
Clouds made out of cotton, water made out of cellophane. It looks very fun, and it works in the story. Stories were told in this. Michel Gondry, this is the guy who did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay, love
and
that
so
movie.
when he got a bigger budget, he did Eternal Sunshine. So The Science of Sleep is
interesting.
What he's actually like. He also did The Green Hornet with Seth Rogen.
Ooh, wow, what a jump!
Yeah.
That's what happens when
You
filmmakers start turning in these great movies, and then studios think the right way to treat these people is to give them some nostalgia bullshit and make it cool, which I think is wrong. That's why Daniels would say no to Loki and say, no, we're already doing our own thing. It's cool. Let's continue the trend of just sort of people making original things, coming up with original stories, and just like, if you want to make people laugh in a movie, then do it. If you want to make people cry in a movie, then you should do that too. But if you're trying to make me, I don't know, remember when I was 7, I don't want to. And if you're gonna make me do that, completely ruin everything that I loved. I'll do that. I love that. Do that. Have Spiderman straight up suck a dick in the next movie. It'll be crazy, full blown oral on screen.
Kill off Toby. Kill off. Just do it.
Murder them all. Don't give a fuck. And then it'll make people maybe try to move on. But those old movies that you love, they still exist. You watch them anytime you want to.
That's true, and it makes a longer lasting impact that way.
100%.
If everything all at once, if they didn't do that and they did Loki, the impact wouldn't be the same.
Exactly.
Loki's still out. It's still there. It's still whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know who made that show, who's directing it, but we know who did Everything Everywhere All at Once because, what's this random movie that's making a lot of money and it's about a multiverse with, you know what I mean?
It's also way more emotional.
Yeah.
And way more touching than anything
we've
out of
seen.
A comic book movie ever.
Yeah. It's a great movie. That
Because
scene when it's just them as rocks.
You're crying at rocks. I love that. You know what I'm saying? I've cried at a movie with The Rock in it, but never at a rock.
At a rock, yeah.
Anyway, I think that's the future of it. And honestly, if you wanted to book Club Dune with me, I would do that.
I would do that with you.
In a heartbeat.
That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's what a way to wrap it up. That was a good closing monologue right there, man.
Thank you.
Any final words before we wrap it up? I know it's hot in here.
It's hot as balls in here. I'll leave you with this because honestly, it's not mine. I didn't bring it with me.
What's going on?
The microphone. I didn't.
I was like, what's going on?
I'll leave you with it.
All right, guys. Andy, thank you, man. That's the end of the podcast. I appreciate you.
Goodbye.
And goodbye, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. That was a fun debate, by the way. I loved it. I thought it was super fun.
One more word. Fuck Star Wars. Turn it off. Turn the camera off.
Boom. I'll cut it right there. All right, guys. Till the next one. Thank you.